के लिए एक साइन है जो एलिवेटर
हाय, मैं डैडी स्लेट्स प्लेयर, आपका जूनियर 11th भी। आपने गोल्डन वॉक भेजा था क्या?
हाँ, और क्या ऑनलाइन था ही नहीं।
सो आई गेस वी आर द डायनामिक डुओ।
प्रैक्टिस करता है, अभी भी नूब है।
वो तो पूरी आके बाद ही पता चलेगा।
Let's not underestimate.
वैसे मेरे भी 5 kills है और तेरे भी 5. क्या मैंने ठीक खेला?
ये तो बुया के बाद ही पता चलेगा.
तू वेट कर, मैं दिखता हूँ.
अबे रुक जा. मैंने से ही शीरू का कैरेक्टर जीता है. इसका फुल यूज तो करना ना.
Also visit other players' profiles and look at their ranks, playstyles, and battle tags. Talking about buddies, a new revival mechanism will be introduced in Battle Royale. After completing a series of tasks, it is possible to bring a fallen teammate back into battle. But I must warn you, it is very challenging. You guys asked, and we delivered. The developers have heard your desire for more weapon varieties in Clash Squad. Now, popular weapons will be arranged into multiple sets and rotated as you play more games. May more choices bring more victories for you. And before we go, here's a quick look at the weapon balancing adjustments in this new patch. That's all for our Season 2 premiere. See you next time on What's Up Free Fire.
ফুল স্পিডে ফুল অ্যাগ্রেসিভ রেসে কিন্তু দেখা যাক এখানে কিন্তু আরো একদিকে ডাউন করে ফেলেছে আমাদের অসাধারণ গেম প্লে ফ্রম আমাদের এসকে দা কাইজি কিন্তু অসাধারণ সুমন ভাই এখানে থার্ড পার্টি
थोड़ा लेकिन ये तो ओपन में था
আনবিশাল টিমারের একজন কিন্তু ডাউন তাকে এবং এখানে কিন্তু ভাই সিরিয়াসলি কিন্তু দুইজন সেট আর সুমন ভাই এখানে থার্ড পার্টি
थोड़ा लेकिन ये तो ओपन में था
বাংলাদেশি লাস্ট প্লেয়ারটা তিনজন কি করে শেষ রক্ষা একেবারে
लास्ट गेमिंग में नाइम है जो एलिमेंट
हाय मैं डैडी स्लेट स्लेयर आपका जूनियर 11th भी आपने कोडन वहां भेजा था क्या
हाँ और क्या ऑनलाइन था ही नहीं
सो आई गेस वी आर द डायनामिक डुओ
प्रैक्टिस करता है अभी भी नूब है।
वो तो पूरी आके बाद ही पता चलेगा। बस एक और बचा है।
Let's not underestimate.
वैसे मेरे भी 5 किल्स हैं और तेरे भी 5। क्या मैंने ठीक खेला?
ये तो बुया के बाद ही पता चलेगा।
तू वेट कर, मैं देखता हूँ।
अबे अबे रुक जा। मेहनत से ही शीरू का कैरेक्टर जीता है, इसका फुल यूज तो कर लेना।
Previously on What's Up Free Fire. Huh? What is this place? Free Fire! Welcome to Season 2. I'm back! This is our first episode of the new year, so new enhancements are in order. First up, a big one. Training Grounds Remake. This island is now bigger and better looking. A new, full-sized racing track is being constructed, allowing you to experience the thrill of speed with your friends. Now all we are missing is a super fast car. The target range is also renewed to provide more visual feedback as you hone your skills. An esports hall of fame will be built beside the social zone. Get up close and personal with your favorite team and professional players. Revel in their glories as you forge your own records in the game. You know, I kinda miss Moko. Okay. But seriously though, we are the dynamic duo, don't you think? Now you can form your own dynamic duo. The new partner system allows players to form closer ties with their best buds. As you game and socialize together, your buddy meter increases. More benefits will be added soon, but feel free to tell us what features you would like to see in the comments below. Players will also get a personal name badge, something like this, displayed in your profile page. Together with this addition is the battle tag. Earn it with your performance in each match. This is your badge of honor. You can also visit other players' profiles and look at their ranks, playstyles, and battle tags. Talking about buddies, a new revival mechanism will be introduced in Battle Royale. After completing a series of tasks, it is possible to bring a fallen teammate back into battle. But I must warn you, it is very challenging. You guys asked, and we delivered. The developers have heard your desire for more weapon varieties in Clash Squad. Now, popular weapons will be arranged into multiple sets and rotated as you play more games. May more choices bring more victories for you. And before we go, here's a quick look at the weapon balancing adjustments in this new patch. That's all for our Season 2 premiere. See you next time on What's Up Free Fire.
ফুল স্পিডে ফুল অ্যাগ্রেসিভ রেসে কিন্তু দেখা যাক এখানে কিন্তু আরো একদিকে ডাউন করে ফেলেছে আমাদের অসাধারণ গেম প্লে ফ্রম হটশট 55। তাই আমাদের এসকে দা কাই কিন্তু অসাধারণ ইমন ভাই এখানে থার্ড পার্টি
थोड़ा लेके देखिए तो ओपन में था
আনলিমিটেড ডিমান্ডের একদম কিন্তু ডাউন তাকে এবং এখানে কিন্তু ভাই এখানে থার্ড পার্টি
थोड़ा लेके देंगे तो होपफुली मेरा था
বাংলাদেশি লাস্ট প্লেয়ারটা করে শেষ রক্ষা
কিন্তু ফাইট দিতে
এখানে কিন্তু একেবারে
সুইসাইড গেমার গেমিং এবং লাস্টের দিকে গেমিং উইথ নাইমে জোন এলিমেন্ট
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I myself, Star Tanya, I heartily welcome you to Free Fire Bangladesh Championship. And I'm going to cast with the person who needs no introduction, the best in what he does, Mamba SR.
I think you're just being too modest and too nice to me. I'm not quite sure why, but I like it. I like it. I'm not going to complain about it. It's an absolute pleasure to be here. Like always, it's fun. It's fun to have you on board as well and cast alongside you because, see, everyone has different chemistry. There's a lot of banter with Salty, but there's a lot of banter with you as well. And it's a different kind of banter. But of course, we're going to talk about the teams playing today and the tournament at hand. So League Day 5 and talking about the teams, right? All of these teams have pretty much established themselves, Tanya, the way they've played. Talk about Riot, if you talk about Swag, LMC, Electro, Infinity, all of these guys have played really, really well and have managed to prove that all of these teams are worthy of being in the Free Fire Bangladesh Championship.
Absolutely, they have proved their worth, and it was way more difficult to even enter into these league days. So yes, they have come through the grind that they have given to the hours and hours that they have spent practicing, and that is absolutely seen on the screen. So yes, but somewhere I always say, Group B is the most aggressive one, and we are going to miss them. But somewhere somehow I'm seeing Team Riot getting into the same league as Group B is. So yes, I'm not going to miss them anymore because we have certain teams going a little maybe a little lesser than team agents and zenons, of course. So yes, we will see riots, we will see various other teams who are doing very good in their own groups, and we cannot underestimate anybody else's caliber. We cannot compare anyone with, they are good in their own selves.
That is true. They're all good in their own senses, but we're also going to have a look at the point system. We're going to talk about that. We're gonna have a look at how the league point conversion happens, but talk about the tournament format. Of course, it all started with the FFC mode qualifier, which is an open qualifier for all the teams. The top 48 teams advance to the closed qualifiers, and then the top 18 teams from then move on to the league season, which is happening right now. From here, three groups, top two teams from each group progresses. That is a grand total of 6 teams progress to the grand finals, and the bottom 12 teams move on to the grand final play-ins. And from there, again, we get 6 more teams. So 12 teams are going to battle it out in the grand finals, and it's a grueling format, Tanya. The way this all works is, it keeps on churning out the best of the best players, and it makes sure that it's not just a stroke of luck or a fluke. The reason why I ended up in the FFBC or you end up in the grand finals, you gotta prove your mettle, and you need to make sure that you're as consistent as ever. But talking about the league point conversion as well, this is something that confuses a lot of our viewers. But once again, we are going to walk through it. Imagine there are two groups playing Group A and Group B. What would happen in the past is that if you got a booyah, if you had a lot of kills, that they would build up over time, and there was no league point conversion, and you would be compared to all the other teams in the day. But what happens now is that we have two different groups. So even if the team one from Group B, that is Group B1, is just at position number 3, they will still get 20 points, even though they do not have a booyah, because they, compared to their group mates, are ahead of everyone else. So as long as you're ahead of your own group, you get 20 points.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's just perfect way. Even I have started to like this league thing, but I always keep on wondering how the groups are created, and I wish this query is resolved real soon. But yeah, let's see. Howsoever, the best part was when you said the teams are they are not shuffled or picked. They are grinding hard. They are not chosen one. They are struggling hard to reach there. They are, and best out of best are selected out of them, because they need to keep on performing not only once, not only twice, but over and over again until until the grand finals for 6 teams. But then the remaining remaining 12 teams need to continue the same efficiency and hard work for the planes as well.
That is true, but I've been impressed. I've been impressed by all these boys, even though it's the first time on such a big platform. They're not letting the nerves get to them, and that is something that you expect from champion players, or at least players with a champion mindset. Because hey, man, it's a big platform. Understandable. There's a lot of pressure as well, and this is still not a LAN event because of the pandemic happening. Imagine this was a LAN event with crowd cheering your name, roaring across. Even though you have noise cancelling headphones on, Tanya, you can still feel the vibrations of everyone just screaming, chanting, having a good time. And that is what I miss about LAN events the most, because it's a completely different atmosphere.
Yeah, definitely. We are missing that atmosphere, but the viewers are not letting us miss that chance, because the hashtags are on, the cheering is on, the players' support is still on. Though not with the vocal version, but with the written version, with the visual version. So we are not missing it. So viewers, keep on cheering your favorite team, keep on cheering your favorite player. Appreciate the play that they are showing you on the screen, because they have come with lots of efforts, lots of hours that they have spent. They deserve this cheering coming from you. And we are already midway through. How the time flies, Mamba. It was just, we said previous week that the FFBC has initiated, and now we are almost halfway through the league week.
That is true. And just in a bit, we're going to have the match starting up as well. We'll have a look at the playing path. Yesterday, I remember I was casting with Salty. It was game number 3, if I remember it correctly, or game number 4. I think it was game number 4, if I'm not mistaken. The playing path was so different, and I couldn't believe it. Because it was literally at the northeastern edge. It wasn't going through the center. And it's not often that you get to see a playing path like this. The question is it going to happen today in the first matchup? And of course, I want to see if the teams rotate that way, or if they have the plans they want to stick to. Because we've seen the vehicles coming in, the meta has shifted. The vehicles are now a more active part of the game. And it's just good to see that the teams are evolving really quickly. And usually it takes a tournament or two where teams go out there, change metas, try and understand what the other teams are doing. But over here, literally every passing week, we're seeing massive leaps and bounces in terms of, advancements in gameplay.
Yeah, absolutely. And they are doing it for the betterment. So they need to do whatever best. As you mentioned, they are getting filtered. The best are filtered, and then the better than the rest are as well filtered. So let's see who will get filtered at the end of the league day. So let's head towards the league day 5, round 1, first match for the day. And always I think upon who is going to land at Sentosa, and I'm seeing 3 teams already there. It is going to be Team Rage and Mask Boys, and maybe they are going to initiate the fight. But let's head towards Cape Town. There's one team, GB2L Esports. We cannot underestimate the play coming from them. When they start to fight, when they start to conquer the location, there's nobody who can stand against them. And other all teams, if we talk about, they are all into the scattered position, nobody sharing the grounds. So first fight anticipated is going to be between Team Rage and GB2L Esports. Sorry, not GB2, not GB2. It is going to be B26 Mystics.
B26 Mystics, and I still remember the first time I saw them. The first thing that came to my mind was the B26 bomber, and I really hope it's a reference to that, because I'm an aviation fanatic. But at the same time, we have a fight happening over here. Baby girl has been taken out of 17 points. I felt that Hamim trying to stay alive, hanging on to his dear life. But the question is, how long can he stay alive for? Because TXB, even though they're trying their best to stay alive, lucky look at Sky Shoot. He has an M249 to work with this early in the game, and it's just going to be incredibly difficult for the enemy team to stay alive, because, hey man, with a gun like this, you can run as much as you want, but you can't really hide.
Yeah, you can't really wait. And LMC, after losing the player, I was just talking about that, how the players might fight and who is going to engage in the fight. And when we head towards the middle area, I'm seeing that LMC has already lost the player. And as a trio, they have to fight against Team XB. And Team XB, how are they going to go ahead with the play? Because after getting one play, I'm seeing it is Hamim, who has no health kits. He can't regain, and he has been spotted very easily. And the kill confirmed by Sky Shoot, because in the land and fight, you always have the disadvantage of the loot, disadvantage of the healings, guns. But somehow Sparky has some very good weapon, double vector. He's trying to go ahead and shred the enemy, and yes, the player goes down, and one more kill can be confirmed over here, and it is right in front of a screen, and LMC turns into the kill leaders for now with total of 2 kills.
Yep, the other kill leaders with 2 kills for themselves, and it's fairly early on in the game, so I think the first 5 to 8 minutes, any team can be the kill leader unless they have like an extravagant lead with 5 kills or 7 kills for themselves, which happens, but very rarely. It's not often where we get to see teams just going after squads one after the other, and having multiple squads land in the same area. Sure, it does happen, and I'd love to see it, but this is not the case today. LMC, sure, off to a good start, but they've also lost out on a player. Shu has been eliminated, and that is something that is going to pinch them towards the end when they need that extra man to make sure that they have the rotation going on, or maybe they want to scout the last circle, so they need to stay alive. Honestly, if I was in their position, I would try and take fights in the mid game rather than the end game, because mid game you can still set up a trap, maybe set up a flank and get a couple of kills for yourself, but the end game is going to be absolute chaos, and surviving over there with a one-man deficit, not happening.
Yeah, absolutely. If you have a loss of man, disadvantage of men is equal to maybe getting eliminated and not going easy way through towards the booyah. But somewhere we have also seen some players who go around, you get to take the clutch very nicely. But those are very rare scenarios. And now towards the highest resource zone, the fights have initiated. The first fighting shots are coming from Shabir, and yes, we cannot underestimate Shabir, but somehow he gets knocked out. It is Godwin who has taken it down. Superman trying to give the cover fire. Shabir could not be saved. Totally eliminated, and now with the cover fire, trying to take a close call, successfully knocked one player. Amin is down as well, and now it is what is going to happen, because Superman also gets down. Now it's all up to Godwin. How is he going to save his players, save his teammates, and somehow he reaches to Amin. He is reviving, and I don't know how come it went very easy, but 2 players are already down quite too early on.
2 players are down quite early on. They do have 2 kills for themselves to work with, though, and hey, at least that's going to be something. In some way or the other, it's going to calm them down a bit, that it's not just absolute loss. They've actually managed to get 2 more kills, so it's 4 kills for themselves, and I think that's decent. They can now try and survive, get in the top 7, top 5, and I would say that it's been a good start. It really comes down to taking decisions on the fly, and that is the reason why I say that teams which can handle pressure well are more often than not crowned champions, because being in a position like Rage, the thing that is going on in your favor is that you have kills, and you get to the top 5, you're going to get a decent amount of points. But if you get eliminated early on, it's not going to be that great. So it's something that you have to decide upon and stick to, and also execute to perfection, because you make one mistake and you're going to get eliminated. But talking about the zone as well, quite conventional, nothing fancy. Towards the center of the map, ECL is at Mars Electric, TR towards Sentosa. They're going to try and close in as well, but they have the high loot area as well, so they can get a couple of guns to themselves. But in the meantime, if you talk about Electro, look at them. Catalyst Siva, they might rotate to Bhima Sakti, but at the same time, Swag is waiting for them. B26 could go in if they hear a fight towards Bhima Sakti, but I don't see a reason why they would want to pick a fight unless they've actually planned for it.
Yeah, they don't have to because they are within the circle, within their own own luxury compounds. They don't need to get out of their comfort zone. They are quite too safe at the moment. But unsafe teams, I would say the teams that those are into the Sentosa, Mart Selector, they need to make sure they enter the zone. Though they have ample time to manage to take the entry quite smoothly. And I don't understand Team Cyanide holding near to the bullseye. Maybe they are getting the best of the loots possible. If we talk about Riot upgrading their armors and vest, a very worthy decision because you need the best to take the fight. So upgrading the armor, very wise decision taken at the moment. So they are now total of 3 teams who are left out within the zone. But right now, if we talk about Team Riot engaging with the fight, also confirmed the kill, and the fight is against the Team Squad. The fight which we were talking about, that they can engage or they might engage, and it is already on. UAV is going to expose their exact location. The first strike coming from Shuvo. They won't stop either, because if you are able to spot the enemy so easily, you would not let them lose so easily as well. Tamim lost half of the HP. Albi coming through his car, trying to rush in. Is this step going to give any help to his teammate or no? Because Shuvo is trying to go as close as possible. Chronos used, as well as Gluo's usage of inhalers alongside Maruf with Max 7, the perfect mid-range shotgun used over here and used very wisely. The player is down. Kill has been confirmed. Once again using inhaler and taking the fall back.
Yep, once again using the inhaler, falling back. And the inhaler is actually pretty good. If you're in a pinch and you want to get out, you can also heal yourself while you're rotating. It's quite quick. Sure, it does give you a bit of EP, a bit of HP to work with. But then at the end of the day, I think something's better than nothing, and I'd much rather have a couple of inhalers instead of a med kit. Even though it does give me more healing, I would much rather heal on the move so that I can have quicker rotations. And especially if I'm being engaged, I can get into cover real quick.
Because you can heal yourself on the move, and who doesn't want to move when the zone is already decisive that you have to reach there? You have to fight it out there. And talk about fight, I am seeing GB2L taking fight against Team Electro over here. It is extreme. It is Team LMC. I'm sorry, it was my bad. And yes, the fight is already on. I'm seeing the split play coming from GB2L Esports. 2-2 split, 50-50 split is always perfect according to me, because even if the player gets down, you have someone to give back support, you have someone to revive. And yes, if the fight is engaged too badly, other two players can always take a close call if you are not extended to those level where the players can't get any sort of help. So yes, 50-50 split is wise until and unless you don't overextend yourself.
Yep, until and unless you don't overextend yourself. And that's very important, because in a fight you can get emotional. You want to try and get every single frag that you can, but you also have to have good restraint to make sure that you don't get taken down and you live to fight another day. But in the meantime, Parking is going to go and try to find a frag for himself, but he's going to get taken down. Quite unfortunate for him. Sky Shoot's going to be eliminated as well. It comes down to Extreme. Now, is he going to be able to stay alive? Will he fall back? Or will he come back for revenge? I think he needs to fall back, because there's no chance he's going to be able to avenge his teammates' death. But Arnav is being shot at as well. Look at Sky. Just don't want to stop at all. Oh! Did he actually get a headshot through the glue wall?
He did go for a headshot and then jump and close call. SMG shot as well. He is just going with the perfection. One knock with a sniper, one knock with the SMG, and now going for Chuo. And yes, he is spotting very nicely. And it is going to be a SMG fight, or it is going to be a sniper fight, because this sniper fight, Alpha with a perfect headshot, damage above 400. It shows the precision of aims. And let's see what is Sky up to, because he's taking fallback. He's trying to reach for his teammates, and no, he indeed went for the grenade. Max 7 still safe for himself. Now it is going to be 1v3 situation. 3 players rushing all together against one Shuo, and Shuo gets eliminated. So GB2L with total of 5 kills shut down very nicely.
Shut down very nicely, and they have 5 kills for themselves, which is incredible. 8 teams, 27 players alive, 10 minutes on the clock, 8 more minutes to go. And the way they've played, the way they've stayed alive and gotten the kills, it's quite incredible to see. That's a very good start for them. But talking about Electro as well, starting off pretty safely, 1 kill, all the 4 players alive. Not a lot of action happening, Tanya. But I want to ask you, which are the teams that you are looking forward to seeing today in terms of performance?
I've always expected some good kills coming from V26 Riot, and talking about V26, they're already here. Shots taking shots, one of the player already down, and the kill gets confirmed. Blader in the counter fire gets down as well, but I'm very sure of he's going to get revived. Maruf behind the blue walls is getting attacked, but somehow he is safe. He has taken the hard compound as his cover at the moment. So now as the trio, they have to fight against the squad. Bladers get saved very easily because it was a mid-range fight. And now let me get back to the question that you asked me. The team that I'm looking forward to, for lots and lots of action, I would definitely go for Team Riot, B26, GB2L, and unfortunately Mask Boys got eliminated, but somehow somewhere they definitely be good on screen. They give us the best action possible. Yes, not as good as other teams, but from their group they are performing very well.
Yep, they are performing really well. If you compare them to their group, and that is what that matters, because at the end of the day, you're only going to be compared to your group, and that is how you get the points as well. But if you talk about Dark Cruise, he's going to be taking a couple of shots, gets one knock, and you find the second. There's a Nubia has fallen, trying to find one more, but Raiders is going to pitch in, and Fleps is going to get taken down. So that's quite unfortunate for Fleps, taking a flying bullet in his face, not knowing where the sniper shot came from, but at the same time, GB2L not wanting to give away any more kills. Once again, B26 shots has been taken. Now they're going to confirm that kill as well. So a lot of damage being dealt out by GB2L. And looks like they have intent. And they are smelling blood. They're smelling fear, and they're going after teams. So 6 kills for themselves. All the players still alive. The monster truck is out of order. It's, well, unseaworthy if you may wish to call it that way. But Flaps, in the meantime, still taking a couple of shots. What's to be seen over here is the fact that do GB2L overextend themselves, or are they going to hold the base?
Bladers on his knees, and the kill gets confirmed. So loss of Bladers is going to be a lot of struggle for Team B26 Mystics, because we have seen how Bladers rushes in, takes the shots, and then takes a fallback, gives cover fire. So loss of Bladers is something very, very huge for them. They cannot afford the loss of Bladers so early on. And if you talk about GB2L, they've already spotted out one more player. And if Sky goes for it, I don't think if Sky is the limit for him as well, because once he spots the enemy, he makes sure, even if he gets knocked out, he makes sure that the player is at least given some sort of damage, and then with the cover fire coming from his teammates, the player gets knocked down on his knees or completely eliminated. And if this is the scene right now, I'm feeling bad for Team B26 already.
Well, we can feel bad for them all we want, but at the end of the day, they gotta do what needs to be done. They gotta go out and perform. And INF looks like they're in a decent spot. They have the dam to work with. They have solid cover. They're inside the zone as well. And I remember one of the tournaments where I actually was playing alongside Aura, Jaunty, and Total Gaming. I think it was one of the other events, and it was a similar zone. So this, if I remember it correctly, ends at the dam itself. And it's something to be seen if it's the exact same zone, or are we going to see a different zone. So we'll wait and watch. But in the meantime, Rage is going to lose out on 2 players. But Amin does have a nade launcher to work. Oh, that nade did not go well. Amin does have a nade launcher to work with, but we've seen what happens when you use a nade launcher inside the house. You get taken down yourself. And Blade's nade coming in. Amin is going to get taken down. The question is his teammate going to be able to save him? Blue wall's coming up, but I think just wait it out, let Amin die, and just pick up his nade launcher. You don't really need to risk it over there.
Yeah, absolutely. You don't need to risk it. And the player could not be saved either. He got eliminated. I don't know what for. And now they are rushing out of the fight area. Little do they know that Team XB is also trying to take a very close call. I think he is the only man standing over there. No, there are 2 players already, but still they got unnoticed. I don't know how easily they flanked in this fight. And then Team Cyanide rushes out of the area. So now it is going to be 1v1 situation at the moment. And it is going to be Team XB versus Team Rage.
Yep. It is going to be Team XE versus Team Rage. And talking about Blade, look at that. He wants to stay alive under the dam, and the zone is about to be coming in, but he does connect a shot. Nope, he does not. He just takes a pot shot. I thought he connected a shot, but then we have all the teams trying to move in over here. The question is which team is going to stay alive, which is going to be the last team standing. INF with all the players alive, just trying to take all the shots they can towards Fleps, and Fleps might not be able to stay alive for that long because he's being shot at by 4 different train guns. And just somehow he managed to get out of there. I'm not quite sure how, but Cyan Fireman is going to get taken down. The zone is still somehow around the dam. The question is, where does the final zone go?
Yeah, where will the final zone go? Because Infinity is still safe and sound within the zone, just perfect place to be and hold on to until and unless you got spotted, you get spotted. But the reason is they have the high ridge, they have the lower ridge side where even if the player try to give some damage, they can hide there. Behind them, there's no one. And now Nobin has spotted baby girl. Let's see how is the baby girl going to survive getting the trying to connect the grenades, but it is quite to distance to reach. The grenade would not reach, the damage would not be dealt at all, so baby girl can hold on to. But somewhere now it is Siam who takes the entry over here, gives the perfect damage, left with only 1/3 of the HP. If baby girl has some health kit, she can or he can come back from here on. I don't know what for. Baby girl is also switching the weapons, and now as the zone closes in, the time is over for Team XP. The reason is the blue zone did the work which GB2L did not get the chance.
Absolutely, and Alpha still trying to stay alive. A lot of nades being hurled towards him, but alongside his team at GB2L, they have 9 kills in total, and they want to go for the booyah. They're going to try and push in, and Dark2 is still staying alive. I think it was a distraction for his teammates to actually go out there and get the kill. A lot of glue also work with as well, so the cover is not a concern. But I think Alpha might have made a mistake going out there, and he will have to rotate the long way, and I don't think he's actually going to be able to stay alive over there.
Yeah, even I feel the same. And now, as the zone closes in, the cover is good, but the zone is not in their favor. So, once they start rushing out and race out for the safe zone, they are going to get easily spotted. Yes, blue walls can give them cover for now, but how long is going to be the question? Because I certainly see the two players are waiting and the two players taking the lead. Finally, the reuniting is there. All 4 players reunite at the moment, but it is Team ECL who doesn't want the entry so easy. Though being out of the zone, still trying to gatekeep one of the team is one of the riskiest move you can take, because you also have to back the damage. But somewhere Maruf is successfully giving some damage over here, and maybe, yeah, the knock is confirmed. The player will get definitely revived. It is the benefit of long range fight, and now treatment guns used on the other side of the map, and the player healing themselves. Zone closing in. Both the teams need to make sure they rush into the safe zone quite too early, and now it is Maruf once again using the inhaler, the best way to rush within the zone, to enter the safe zone. Nobody within the circle. All 2 teams successfully reach in on the edge of the zone. And now let's see who is going to take fight with whom, because Raunjan would not stop his fighting shots, and now he has to fight not one but 2 teams at the same time.
Yep, not one but 2 teams at the same time. Tonmoy is going to try and take a couple of shots on the opposition, but GB still trying to stay alive, still actually managing to stay alive. ECL is going to get eliminated over there at position number 4. 3 teams, 10 players on the server. Electro with all the 4 players alive. Looks like Electro might actually have a decent chance as well, because then that just leaves 6 players and 2 more teams to deal with. And it all comes down to which team has the most patience, which team can hold on to the nerves the best. Because look at this blue wall trail actually being made out so that they can rotate from cover to cover. I think that's brilliant. That's absolutely brilliant. But Siam, even though he's trying to move in, he's not going to be able to connect those shots. He does get a knock though. He does get the first knock. Can he finish that? Okay, then gets one more. Knocks out a team. Team Electro has been eliminated, and Siam somehow staying alive, connecting those sniper shots. He needs to get one more, and does he get the booyah? He actually does! What a madman! What an absolute madman!
Yeah, this was the team which you were talking about. They have the perfect zone, they have the perfect location, they can hold on to as long as, and they had the patience to hold. Because certainly when you start seeing some fights going across, you try to get the free kills, you try to intrude the fight. They had the patience to wait, and the patience paid them well, paid them with the first booyah for the day.
That is true, but the way Siam actually played over there, a lot of nerves, and the confidence with which he was taking those sniper shots, it did not change his weapon. He went on to take those shots, knocked one player, finished him, knocked the second player, finished him, and ultimately went on to get the booyah for his team. And snipers in the last zone, we've seen some clutches, and those are all just equally insane. But just to have the confidence of using a long range weapon, point blank, Tanya, I don't think I have it. I just don't think I have it.
But they had it, they did it, they proved themselves. The sniper skills are usually used for the distance fight, but then they showed us, as well as the viewers, you can use it into the final clutch situation, where either if you get into some sort of if you tend to even miss a single shot, you might miss the booyah. They risked it, but they won it. So yes, the people who take risks can win it easily. But now let's head back towards the recap, and here it was when LNC lost one of the player, and then if you talk about the highest resource zone where the fight fight initiated. Team Rage, yes, they bagged away 4 kills, but with the loss of 2 kills at two players at this point, somewhere I felt that Team Rage can definitely get eliminated. Somehow it was Godwin who survives until the last for his as the last man for his team, and then wins away for that particular fight.
Yep, and if you talk about Riot as well, they did fairly well early on, but then they struggled towards the end. And it's one of those teams which have not been able to play that well this week. If you've looked at the standings as well, I don't know what they're struggling with, but something is definitely wrong in their camp. But nonetheless, Shuo, he tried his best. He got a couple of knocks, but at the end of the day, all that matters is if you manage to get a Booyah, and that they did not. But yeah, well, if you're a decent spot in your own group, I think they still have a lot more chances to come back because it's still the first game of the day. And this is still day 2 of the second week. So we'll see what actually happens up ahead in the tournament. But Rad, in the meantime, I think they can definitely do better.
They can definitely do way better because we have seen their performance, we have seen their play. So the bars have risen, the expectations have risen. Somewhere GB2L takes the entry and eliminates the highest fragging team, which was Team Riot. And yes, this is the exact location. And then GB2L, after eliminating one team, they head back to they did try to give some cover. They did try to get into the action where they did not have to take a fallback, and the action did definitely pay off. So over here, they eliminate one of the team, one of the most competitive team over here on this grounds. And then once again, now Darko starts initiating the fights over here with the M249 drag shots. He does connect very, and he did get the knock. And then over here, the players, Team Cyanides, decides to change the location, runs out of the fighting area, and then on the way, they did spot one of the players, Sky. So yes, the player gets eliminated. And now if you talk about Team Electro, Team Infinity, all 4 players standing still coming from their team. Then comes Santo with the Groza skills. He did try to get the best knocks, and then it was Siam. How beautifully you described the sniper shot that he took in the close range, and it was just perfect on point. Not only one but two at a time, and then it was last man standing, which had to be Alpha. Still, it was the same sniper skills that he used upon, and then won away the first round. But then I had a question running through the damn story that you said. Did you go for the competitive play? I was not aware about it.
Oh, me?
Yeah, you said you were playing some tournaments.
Oh yeah, no, it wasn't a competitive tournament. It was a fun
Okay.
tournament. It was organized by Booyah, and even though we did have all the professional players playing in it, I still remember it was an Indian team. It was actually all the Indian teams playing in. We had a couple of teams from the other countries pitching as well, but we remember taking down some really prominent teams. Talk about GZ Army and whatnot, and we actually got a Booyah in the first match itself. So it was fun. It was definitely fun. But my days of competitive gaming are done, Tanya. I started back in 2007. I retired in 2016. And made a cameo back in December last year. But apart from that, I think the casting duties take up all the time. As much as I would love to compete, there are 2 things that work against me. One, of course, my love for casting, and the second is that I'm growing old. I'm growing old for playing competitive. You look at these kids, the way they play is not something we can match.
Yeah, absolutely. These kids are playing very well. And now let's head towards the second match for the day, which is going to be Purgatory. And yes, Mamba, you changed my view for this match. I've always seen, I cannot say it to be boring, but yes, I always see Purgatory as the slowest match. But then after you exactly explained how the meta goes in this map, I have got a change in my perception. The map is definitely slow, but somehow, somewhere, the players try to engage at the same spot. And once again, we are seeing the cluster of landings that takes place because you don't tend to get the loots spread out wide. Though map being very good, you have to go for the locations where you get a good compound, good hard compound with certainly good loots. And now I'm seeing it into the entire different view. The players are taking fight early on, the players are getting eliminated early on. The story is changed, the story is certainly changed.
Yep, the story has certainly changed, and you talk about Team Rage, they've actually went pretty aggressive this time around. It looks like they want to go in and rage inside the lumber mill. And will it happen though? That is something we'll figure out. But ECL is also waiting it out for them. Look at Mehdi. He's right there inside. And I think has Superman actually spotted him, or is he expecting him there? Because the way he was looting, I think he does certainly expect somebody over there. But Kingsman, he's going to get taken down Shuo coming up with the first blood. And that's a good start. He's going to give them confidence.
Yeah, absolutely. First kill is equal to loads of confidence. You tend to boost up because if you take first frag, you feel that yes, we might eliminate the team because you know the opponents are less in numbers already. So now over here, grenade attempt coming from Sky, shoot, and the grenades that does not connect so easily. Player moves out of the fighting zone. Player moves out of the exact location where he did attempt to get a knock, and now with the AKM, he's trying to spot it out. But little does he know, the player has already escaped. He lost the chance to get this knock.
Yep, he did lose a chance to get this, but well, it's still very early in the game. It's only been 2 minutes, and there's a lot of gameplay left 16, 17 minutes of gameplay left. So we'll wait it out. We'll see what actually happens. But talking about LMC, though, they've been flying under the radar, haven't they, Tanya? Because I've not seen them make any flashy plays or get some incredible booyahs, or just in general do something which would actually make them stand out.
Yeah, that is definitely making them stand out. Let's see, because you have seen LMC taking some kills in the previous match as well, though not taking of the Booyah. But yes, previously as well, they did go for elimination of a team. Once again, I'm seeing that Team Infinity might get eliminated. This is the team, mind you, they did get away with Booyah previously. They went for the safe play, they hold on to the circle, they just chose a exact spot. The zone prediction went wise, but this time along, two players already down, two players into the complete scattered position. They are not together, they are not at all together, and I don't know how Nobeen is going to take fight, because the only way he can do at the moment is he need to stay and he needs to stay hidden. He needs to keep himself into such a stealth location where he can't be spotted, or he will be getting eliminated very easily. But now let's head towards Team Electro. First kill already taken down against Team Rage, the team which we talked about, that they looked a little ragey this time along, but somehow somewhere the player is down, being too early on as well. Purgatory is not keeping any eyes down. There's no cooling moments at all. It is just that the players getting into the action as soon as they have taken the landing. And now one player down, spotted another, and now the cover fire comes in. The player getting damaged, taking cover of the tree, and yes, they do have lots and lots of health kits to work with. So yes, Godwing coming as the savior for his teammate and successfully revives. And once again, the player trying that the revival doesn't go very easy. He's trying to change, he's trying to flank it out, take the different location, getting the knock. Indeed, his attempts get complete false. He gets into onto his knees at the moment. Sabit is down, and now it is Shuo who is trying to go and revive his teammate. Somewhere Rage lost a mean, and I think it is going to be the same. Electro might lose his player.
They might not. But what is for sure is that they could have taken this fight better. But talking about Team Rage, they've lost out on a player already. They only have 3 men surviving. They don't even have a kill to work with. Look at Sparking, though. With this past 12 being in his face, Nobian is not going to like that. But hey, man, the only chance you have at revenge is in the next game now, because you've been eliminated off the server as well. So, well, that was quite unfortunate. But we will have a look at the scoreboard now, because Team Infinity is on top with 20 points. GB2L. This is interesting. GB2L was fairly close, very close. Maybe 2 kills would have made all the difference in the world, but then you look at the point difference between the second team and the third team. That's massive.
Yeah, that's definitely massive. But now this time around for the next leaderboards, we are not going to see Team Infinity on the top for sure, because they've already lost 2 players. They have not taken any kills as of now. All they are trying to do is play as safe as possible after losing players. And now whatsoever, let's see. The time is going to be the best judge about which team is going to survive when, and what leaderboards are going to be seen. Because if we talk about the moment, I am seeing the fight brewing up between 2 teams, Team LMC versus B26 Mystics. Yes, B26 Mystic did play very well in the previous match. If they go along with the same firing shots, and yes, the sniper play I was talking about, Blaze, no, it was the grenades coming from Bladers, which are just on point. But this time along, I don't think he's going to work with the grenades, because he doesn't possess any. He needs to get a better loot, because if you know, you're one of the teammate has some good amount of grenades, and the precision of grenade aim is good. He needs to make sure that he's supported from his teammates, so to get some knocks, to get some kills. But if we talk about the moment, the opponents have taken a fallback. They don't want to engage into the fight. They want to play a safe bet, and 12 players still surviving. 6 minutes already down. Lots of players to play with. 43 players still surviving. And yes, certainly some teams are trying to take the flank. Some teams are trying to go for the rotations. Whereas if we talk about some who have used their resources, will again try to find out for the locations. Will they again refill the lost resources they have used?
Well, you got to make sure that your utility management is on point, because One of the smartest things that an opposition can do is not to kill you, but actually bleed you dry through your utility usage. And that car is actually about to explode. So the shield's coming up. They're going to try and run away as well. Yep, they are going to run away. That is true. But a lot of damage being taken because of that car explosion coming in. And wait, what? Have we actually got eliminated, if I'm not mistaken? Or is it still alive? Because there's a glue wall. And I'm not quite sure what actually happened over there.
The shots did get connected, and that there's nobody got eliminated, not even kill confirmed. So it is just that it was on point. I did expect the player is going to get down on knees, he's going to get eliminated, but blue wall saves the day for them at this point. But how long can they survive? Because now red zone is just above their head, meteor showers any point of the time, and it is going to be humiliating knock if the player gets knocked out, because you know exactly if it is red zone, you need to rush out of that exact location. But somewhere they can't do this, because they know there's already a team, which is going to be Team XB, who has their eyes very keen stuck, and Team Swag is also trying to make sure that they don't get attacked very easily. They certainly do have cars to move out of this fight area, and they're using their feet. They're trying to run out of this fight zone. Maybe they want to go for the final circle. They want to save the players. If we talk about Arthur, he's just playing around with his buddy, going up, showing some Saitama punches, getting down, because there's no fight to take. They're just playing around, messing around with their buddies.
Yep, they're only playing around and messing around with their buddies, but I wouldn't want to be around this car. The way it's smoking up, I would definitely not want to be around. But look at that crate just rolling down the hill. That crate rolling down the hill reminds me of myself in the morning trying to get off the bed. I can't. I literally had to roll off the bed to get myself off, because otherwise there's no chance in hell that I'm waking up and out of my comfortable bed, because hey man, a man's got to sleep, okay?
Yeah, everybody needs that sleep. I hope these players have also taken a good night's sleep and are here to perform the best they can. Let's see, if we talk about Team Swag at the moment, they are at rest. They can even take a small nap, because I don't see any teams surrounding them. But no, certainly there is a team just behind them, which is going to be B26 Mystic. So at the moment, they have no chance of taking any sort of nap.
At this point, they don't really have a chance of taking any sort of nap. But look at the danger zone. It's quite interesting to see how it's all turned out. But the next zone is definitely going to be towards Brasilia or the larger landmass, because the way the water body is dividing the circle, where it is the most obvious choice, unless, of course, the game wants to prove me wrong and wants me to make me eat my own words. I think the next zone is definitely going to be towards Brasilia. But talking about B26, no kills, all the 4 players live, Mask surviving with all the players, but they do connect a shot. Nibir is going to take a shot, and the knock coming in, but that's because of the danger zone.
This is the knock I was talking about. No hard covers to play with, no hard covers, and the players are getting down. Not only one Mamba, 2 players are down due to the red zone.
It's quite unfortunate. You don't get to see a lot of knocks coming in because of the red zone, but for now, the red zone is definitely going to knock down 2 players, and it's interesting to see. You see, like, you have 7 matches where no player gets eliminated in the red zone, and then there comes one match where you get multiple players being eliminated. And it's just funny. It's just funny how life turns out, isn't it?
Yeah, it is definitely funny, but not funny for Team Swag, though. They must be feeling very sad about it, not being able to take the fight and getting eliminated. That is not wanted. That no player wants it, and now they have to struggle through this pain. And now it is shots. Trying to take a close in against the last man standing for Team Swag. Team Swag will definitely try to go for the placement points, because still, if we talk about this placement points, 12 teams, all teams are alive. Though certainly some are healthy, some are unhealthy, and now shots putting some shots against Anap using away the chrono so early on, and now using the glue walls. He needs to take a fallback, he needs to save himself, but now there comes another teammate, and now both of the teammates are trying to make sure that glue walls are damaged totally. Somewhere the kill gets confirmed away. A boulders in the count. It was Bladers, though, into the counterfires, gets knocked down. ECL using the bridge, trying to take the close entry. UAV making sure of each and every player is exposed. Now Maruf using the hand cannons just so precisely. Somewhere grenades are being exchanged, and Maruf gets knocked down. The aim did miss out, but now certainly opponents did not miss this chance coming and gets the player down. Maruf safe for now, and now the shotguns are being used. Mehdi running away from the firing shots. He's saving himself, running towards the different teammates, holding back on the other side of the bridge. Now the bridge is being contested on two different sides, one in the beginning, one at the end.
The bridge is being contested from two different ends, and this is the nightmare scenario for anyone stuck in between if there was a team. But then again, bridge camping is something we've not seen a lot of. But now the meta is changing, and the glue wall is not going to hold for long because a lot of damage is being dished out with the sniper coming up. But he's going to be able to connect one more shot, though. The glue wall is going to go down. Now the chrono shield being taken on as well. Not a lot of cover to work with, but the teams are fighting it out. ECL being the gatekeepers, but Mehdi is going to get taken out. It all leaves Thornboy and Ramjan alive in a 2v4 situation. The question is, are they going to be able to stay alive? He gets one. Can he find the second as well? He has a shotgun to work with, trying to find the second frag. He's still alive somehow, but Ramjan is going to get knocked out. And the question is, how are they going to bounce back from this? The answer to that is they're not going to bounce back.
It was the end for Team ECL, Eclipse TRB. I mean, they got eclipsed. They got eclipsed. They are not seen anymore for this match. And B26 will run with Almighty with this fight. Won 6 kills. And now last man standing, Infinity. Yeah, they did go for a booyah with all 4 players standing, with all 4 players winning it out. And now, uncertainly, now it is last man standing for his team. And it was Nobeen, man of the match for the previous match. Yes, it was Nobeen from Infinity. He did not get a single kill for this round, and it is Infinity who needs to take all the responsibilities on his shoulder. And if we talk about Team Electro, they were in top 3, and that they were the first eliminated team out of the server for this round. So somewhere the tables are turned. It is not exact way it was in the previous match. Purgatory map somehow somewhere is changing the total metaphysics of the leaderboard as well.
Yep, but talking about the way he's been playing, right? It's been nice, but not a lot of kills. Individually, we've seen some performances which have been incredible in terms of individual performance. Yesterday, we had a player who had 8 kills for himself. Not his team. When they got a player, he had 8 kills for himself. And that's just nuts. You know, individually, one player going out and getting so many kills is not something you get to see often, but when it does happen, it's very entertaining to watch, Tanya. But talking about Riot for now, they have the bridge, they have kills, they have all the 3 players alive. All in all, they're having a field day right now, but Alvi is going to find one more kill for himself. And meantime, Maruf has been knocked down. He's going to get finished. Yes, indeed, he will get finished. This is what happens when you go out there alone. And I think he was trying to scout, but at the same time, Riot was taking a fight with the other team, and this was unfortunate.
Absolutely, this was unfortunate, right? Lost 1 player, but at least they are surviving. Still too healthy for 3 players remaining at this point of time, because it is almost half of the match is down and 3 players are standing. You can go very good with these numbers as well. Talking about B26, 7 kills already. Nubi trying to get the perfect sniper shot with his car 98 skills. Let's see, is he going to go again? Because you have seen B26, they are more dependent on the snipers rather using shotguns or SMGs. And if we talk about Team Cyanide, after losing 1 player, they have to take fight against GB2 Esports. Perfect entry. Alpha gets down on his knees right with the entry of Spartan, and now Spartan on his knee as well. Fireman, last man standing for Team Cyanide. How long can he survive? Because blue zone is not going to spare even if the enemies does. Let's see if he's going to get eliminated with the blue zone or with the firing shots coming from the opponents. If we talk about Team Mask, Gibbon has also spotted the enemies over here, connecting perfect shots. Blue walls are being used for the safety, and yes, Team Cyanide is shut down. Team Mask could not stop so easily, trying to connect the shots against B26 Mystics, the team which we talked about, remaining with 3 players to play. Let's see how far can they play.
We'll definitely have to see how far they can play, but B26 with 7 kills, if I'm not mistaken, that's a lot of kills, and all they need to do is stay alive, get in the top 5, and that is it. It's going to be a good game for them. Riot, in the meantime, they have 5 kills, all but 1 player alive, and they're in a good position as well, but they might run into some trouble with Santa, who's just hiding over there with the car. So is that going to happen? Are they going to fall back? Oh, they just turn around. They just turn around. They're like, nope. We're going to go back from where we came. They're being shot at as well because they don't want to go to low ground. And that's not the brightest of choices as well. But you look at the zone. The way the next zone's turned out, they will definitely have to make a move quickly, because otherwise they're not going to be able to make it inside the zone safely.
Yeah, they will have to make the move as quickly as possible. And certainly, I see some players have decided to use the cars, and it is Santo, the Santa for them with the ho ho ho. Maybe yes, because he does possess shotgun. He can go for those kind of shots. But before that, Team Riot is already taking some fight. Anaf is giving some shots, so uncertainly did not connect. And yes, the opponents did go for the Chrono Shield, the best cover possible at this point of time. And now Brasilia, the zone will get into the 0 point in nowhere, and it is Team TXB who did enter the zone on the edge of the circle, and now the fighting shots are coming quite to Coco, and it is Team Mask taking the fight, 3 kills, and let's see how far can they go, because Shuvo is trying to make sure of that the players TXB doesn't take a very easy entry, though they were on the edge of the circle, but the circle takes the shift, and Alvi down, Shuvo down, and up stands for his team, trying to still take the fight as long as possible. One player down, and now he has to fight against 2 teams, and it is Team 12 and Team 1 on both the sides, and the player gets eliminated. Dark Crew's down as well. Anaf still trying to go as ahead as possible with 6 kills, trying to go the sneaky way and tries to save himself as long as possible.
They're trying to stay alive for as long as possible. He doesn't have a lot of HP to work with. It's going to be very difficult for him to hang on to his life, and he needs to bring it back for his team as well. Does get a kill while actually walking backwards. Is going to try and go in, but will get taken down by LMC Extreme with the SVD. The Drakenov is an incredibly powerful DMR in the last zone especially. But look at Skyshoot. He's missing those shots with the lane launcher, which should not be happening. You should be getting a kill in one shot itself, but Sparking is going to be walking inside the zone along with his teammate, but he's in the open. The glue wall coming down. A lot of damage being dealt out by all the teams in the zone. And Mask, if you talk about Idion, he's still trying to take down the glue wall, which has Santo behind him. But Santo, how long can he stay alive for? That is going to be the question. Mask, they might actually lose out on player, but nonetheless, Sando is going to be eliminated. And it all comes down to 2 teams, 6 players. The question is which team comes out on top. 3v3. Sparking doesn't have a lot of HP to work with. He's going to try and heal himself, but Extreme as well, just making sure the enemy team stays at bay and does not dish out a lot of damage. But the healing gun coming into play, the nade being thrown out, the glue wall coming up, and both the teams trying to stay alive, bringing it back for their teams, but the nades are not going to stop. The damage is not going to stop. And look at Sparking, Tanya. The way this is turning out is incredible.
It is incredible indeed, but he doesn't possess any health kits. He could have done it better, but somehow Mask takes a rush with his MP40, entering into the opponent's Chrono Shield, and now it is Sparking still trying to take fight. 1v1 situation was there, but somehow LMC takes away the Booyah with a total of 8 to 10 kills, which is a good number, Mamba. We cannot deny it. They were into the bottom 3, turning themselves into the top 1. It is a good table turner. Purgatory map definitely worked very good for them.
Yes, indeed. It is a good table turn, and I like it how you remember my words from yesterday that Purgatory is not a map that I would want to have any predictions upon, because I've seen it happen time and time again. I've had to eat my words that I think this team will do it because they've had good run, but it doesn't work. Purgatory doesn't care about the stats. It doesn't care about history. As long as you can go out and pop some heads, you're going to win. But of course, we're going to have a look at the replays as well. Talk about Electro. They had a pretty decent start, didn't they, Tanya?
Yeah, they did have a decent start. Somewhere I felt Team Electro is going to go beyond them. They're going to push the limits, but then Team B26 comes, eliminates Team Swag, and how Team Swag got eliminated. 2 players got eliminated with the red zone and this bridge fight. How can we miss it? Team ECL got totally eclipsed over here, and yes, for this point, Team B26 definitely eliminated, but then gradually as they started taking an entry, as they started going within the circle, they were also spotted. The players were also knocked down, but somehow, somewhere, they did manage to take future fights as well. But then if you talk about Team Cyanide, Spartan getting in, taking 1 knock, confirming 1 kill, then going on his knees with the cover fire coming from his teammate. Team Cyanide got eliminated very easily at this point of time. And then talking about Team Riot, this was a complete chaos, Mamba. 3 teams fighting, and somehow it was Team Riot who was stuck in the center within the fight.
Yep, that is true, but you talk about Riot over here. Look at them. They managed to get so many kills, and enough, especially while he was running out. He stayed alive over here while running backwards. Man gets, managed to get a kill for himself, and just it was very funny to see that the zone's pushing him out. Look at this, okay? Turns around, tries to get a kill. He does actually get a kill, and then walks right to the zone once again, but does get taken down eventually. But then Santo dished out enough damage to push Mask on the back foot, but that wasn't enough. He was the only guy flying for his team, and there was not a lot he could have done. So unfortunate, but hey, man, you're as long as your team is in the top three, I think that's a good game. But you got to do that consistently. You can't have like one game in the top three, the other game in the bottom three. But yeah, all in all, Mars played really well. Ended up, in the top two. But LMC over there with 10 kills and a booyah. Great performance.
Yeah, it was indeed a very great performance. Let's see if the consistency flows in the same direction for them or no, because we are already down two matches and the beautiful ones. A Bermuda, a slightly predictive one, and yes, Purgatory, as you say, the most unpredictable one. I'm taking my words back. I've always used unpredictable word for Kalahari, and now certainly I have a change of mind and a good change of mind indeed. So yes, Purgatory did change the tables. The teams who were into the top three, they did get eliminated quite early on into, and for this match they were into the bottom three, and the bottom three teams rushing upwards with a fair play. 10 kills, it's not an easy number to take.
It is definitely not, an easy number to take, but of course, we are going to talk about a lot more things. We still have 4 more matches lined up, ladies and gentlemen, but do not go anywhere because I need to go out and grab my popcorn and a cup of coffee because, well, on the other side, we're going to have Salty and Tanya taking us through the action. So, well, do not go anywhere. We
এমজিআর যে টিমটাকে চলে আসবে এবং লাস্টের দিকে এমজিআর যে টিমটাকে চলে আসবে এবং লাস্টের দিকে টাইমে চলে এলিমিনেট
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you did your water break because, yes, after watching such a intensive, high intensity matches, you need to get a sip of water. And now let's head towards the caster who I'm going to cast with 2 more matches. It is going to be Salty, the most positive person I know for casting for within the, yeah, the most positive person. And as soon as he enters the circle, enters the chat zone, he spreads as many positive vibes as possible.
I mean, thanks a lot for those words. I'm not really sure if I'm positive or not, but I'm pretty sure that those games were absolutely positive. I love the fact how these teams played, and we'll head over to the map recap pretty soon, where we're gonna get I would say this is pretty good idea, gives us a very good idea of how the day has been proceeding like. Team Infinity on the first round of Bermuda, Team LMC on the second round of Purgatory. Both these teams played really well done. I was watching those games from behind the scenes and I loved how they played.
Yeah, absolutely. Even I loved how they played, and these were the teams which we did not discuss in the beginning, and now we will keep on discussing them, because if we talk about Team Infinity, I wonderfully loved how they predicted the zone so perfectly, hold on to it, and then take the final fight. It was beautiful one. But if we talk about Team LMC, they did not go for the zone directly. They went on taking the fight gradually, taking the rotations, entering the zone, and finally winning away the fight. So it has been two booyahs already, but two different ways once again.
Yeah, I mean, I've been having a look at Team LMC since the start. Team LMC did not probably get a single booyah till this one. This is the fifth weekday of the league stages, and getting the first booyah, I guess a lot of burden will be off the shoulders of Team LMC, because when you're playing in such a high level, you really want to prove yourself. You don't really want to get that opportunity wasted. Team LMC didn't really get a booyah as of yet, and they probably were feeling that, all right, we might have missed out on something, but at least with the booyah now, things can actually change for Team LMC, and who knows, they might even qualify for the finals, grand finals directly. But talking about flight path, we have a very unusual flight path, Tanya. I mean, generally we see a trivial flight path cutting diagonally right across the center of the map, but this time that was not the case. Most of the teams, they will be the high density of the teams will be on the right hand side of the map itself. Few of the teams, they will try and occupy central spaces, but the far eastern end of the map, the far western end of the map rather, I was weak in geography, not that doesn't really matter. The far western end, it's completely deserted.
Yeah, it remains deserted. Nobody wants to go there because you don't have much of hardcore there, and over there you don't even get some loot. And over here we see the first blood is already down this time. It is from Team Cyanide, who is on the go, though we can't see them on the screens, but yes, we can read them on the kill feeds. And now if we talk about GB2L, it is confinement, two teams sharing the ground. The other one is Team Swag. Previous round we did get to witness Salty, the red zone eliminated two of the players from Team Swag. I wish it doesn't get repeated, because how humiliating it is, and how sad it is that you get eliminated without even getting to take fight.
I mean, for sure, the red zone is there to take down players who are not really very careful, especially when the danger zone comes in. You have to be in hard cover regions. If you're not there, it just goes to show that you're not prepared for something unplanned coming your way. I mean, for certain. Just have a look. In confinement, we have two teams right now. Team number 3, that's Team Cyanide, and team number 8, that's Team Rage. Both these two teams are pretty much spaced out. Both these two teams, they are pretty much far away from each other, so the fight doesn't necessarily have to brawl out right from the bat. But talking about the red zone once again, I still kind of feel like, especially a team who is prepared for all circumstances, who is prepared for all situations, they probably will not be bothered with the red zone as much, because if you have hard cover under your vicinity, you will protect yourself no matter what. But if you're completely out in the open, risking your lives, then of course you will get punished.
Yeah, and they were brutally punished by the meteor showers. But over here, if we talk about Godwin, he's being the best supporter possible for his team. He is taking out his ammos. He's trying to use the best shots possible. But I think GB2L is not yet ready to take the fight, because they have just landed. It is hardly 2 minutes down, 3 minutes down to the match that has begun. So yes, loot is also going to be a question. If they have certain amount of loots, because when you take the damage, you definitely want to have certain sort of healings. Amin initiates the fight, and yes, the damage was dealt. The player is down. GB2L's one player is down, and now Godwin is trying to make sure of no more. He tries to confirm the kill, but somewhere the CR7, the Chrono Shields activated. Both the players are going to get spotted way more easier than with the scope in.
Absolutely. Sabir tries to go up close and personal. I'm not quite sure if he's going to go in for the kill, because right now the player has been already revived and he's healed up already. So certainly the fact that Team Rage is wanting to initiate the fight, that is certain and is definitely visible from their positioning. At the moment, they have one player who is trying to flank out the entire fight at the moment. I can see one player on the minimap who is completely separated from his team. The rest of the players, they're trying to fight it out right from the get-go. This is Sabir. He has one more player along with him. I'm not really sure who. He's Superman along with him. So these two players, they will try and go take things up close and personal, but they need an opening for that. The first knock, it is already in the past, and nothing can actually happen from that. as of yet. They need some grenades to initiate things, but then look at Godwin. Look at Godwin's position. He's already been spotted. The flank didn't really come out well. Godwin might just get taken down. The Chrono Shield pops up, and Alpha is going to put Godwin to his bed. At the moment, I'm not quite sure if Godwin is going to get revived, but nonetheless, I mean, still tries to go in for the support sprays, not really dealing in a lot of damage. Superman, he knows exactly where Fleps is, and he's preparing for the fight itself. Team Rage, they suffer an early knock as well as an early kill.
Yeah, definitely. They are suffering bad. Godwin didn't have to take this risky move because he could have taken fight. He did have sniper in his hand. I don't know what made him rush it so close. He did not even activate Chrono Shield. If he would have done, he would have been safe. But Chabi tries to go enter the opponent's Chrono Shield and gets knocked down as well. This is not typical of Rage players. This is definitely not. I don't know what is confusing them. There's some miscommunication within the teammates, because I've seen Team Rage playing by far. They are the teams which I can say they get the best team support possible, but somehow, somewhere, they're getting knocked very easily, getting spotted very easily. And now Fleps going with the easy grenade knock.
Ooh.
Is he going to get one? No, he misses it for now.
He will try and go in. The Chrono Shield has been activated, but then this can actually be a pretty important fight. The grenade comes in. Fleps taking Sabir down with the shotgun, and right now he tries to confirm the final kill for himself. Will he do that? I'm not quite sure. I mean, deploys a glue wall, but then there goes Fleps with the shotgun, destroying Team Rage completely out of the server. I mean, Team Rage was one of the teams that they were dominating in Group C. They were at the top of Group C at the end of Week 1. Week 2's day 1 wasn't really good for them. We saw how they were at the bottom of the table. Today as well, they haven't had some good performances, and that is kind of surprising for me, because a team that comes in number 1 from Week 1, they really struggle to make their presence felt even for a moment in Week 2, and I don't know how that works, but certainly something is definitely wrong in Team Rage. Nonetheless, we have a fight growing up down here, and I guess it's going to be Team Infinity up next against Team Eclipse. Team Infinity, who have one Booyah already. Team Eclipse, they had a good performance yesterday, but they're yet to show that today as well. So we'll have to see. We'll have to watch out how this team actually pans out.
Yeah, because I've seen in the previous match they did try to take fight on the bridge. They are certainly trying to take the fight, which is the locations are little unpredictable. Once again, I'm seeing they're trying to hold the two little compounds. Players split into two, and I don't know, one player is already way too far away from other teammates. And yes, Siam, he did spot Siam. Very good damage given by Kings, and I thought he can go for the confirmation, but somehow, somewhere he saves. ECL has lost one of the player at the moment, and yes, very low HP left to play with. So takes a hard cover, heals himself first. And if you talk about Infinity, did very well in the first match, and now trying to go with their best once again into the third match, going for the kills confirmation. Kingsman, yes, they did go for the confirmation of kill. 2 players already down, 3 down indeed, and last man standing, who was way away from other teammates. He's the only man standing, who is the only survivor player for now. So somewhere flanking out away from other teammates is playing good for this team at the moment. But if you talk about LMC, the Booyah came, which in the purgatory very flawlessly with all the efforts, with all the kills. Are they going to go with the same momentum which they had, is definitely a question at the moment.
That is definitely up for question, because look at their positioning. They're coming in from the blue circle. They're tanking all the damage, but also they have team number 2, that is Team Infinity, right in front of them. And Team Infinity, they're on the right end of the circle. So definitely this team has a very good potential in gatekeeping the entirety of Team LMC at the moment. Team number 2, that is Team Infinity, they're falling back, getting some hard covers for themselves. And this is something which is a good strategy. They know for a fact that Santa Catarina is a place where Team number 6 will have to go through if they have to rotate inside the circle. And getting some hard compounds, it will help them in finding good cover. But team number 6, Team LMC, what do they do from this particular position on? I guess a lot of utilities have to be wasted. A lot of utilities will be flushed out to try and rotate away from this particular fight. Team Infinity, the kind of position they're in, they will try and get some kills from Team LMC. But once again, as I said, if Team LMC wants to survive from this fight, all they have to do is flush out utilities and use those glue walls to their utmost best.
Yeah, they have to use the glue walls to cover themselves, to protect themselves, because LFC doesn't have any hard cover to play with. Certainly, they do have a rich cover, but that rich is not going to play any longer, because zone will start to close in, and they will have to make sure that they enter very easily. But we've talked about Infinity after taking 3 kills. They are still not good. They are still not in the cooldown moment. They want to go for more and more kills. They are hungry for kills. after getting away one booyah, then getting eliminated quite early on. Though Team Infinity still stands on first, on position 1 with the current standings that are right in front of your screen, but GB2L not very far away, only 1 point down. And if we talk about Team LMC, they are on rank 3 with 25 points. So Salty, the leaderboards are out. The point difference is way negligible, only 1 or 2 points, but they are going to matter. They are definitely going to matter when the point of qualifications comes into the mark.
Exactly. I mean, even after 2 games, the difference is 1 point. It is astonishing, but Sparking, once again, he was the hero of the last game. And I can say that without a hint of doubt, because with 3 kills, the numbers, they probably won't surprise you. But the way this guy played and, opened up spaces for his team, it was absolutely astonishing to me. And I was really, really happy to see Team LMZ play the way they did. But in this match, we'll have to see how can they overcome the hurdle that is there in front of them, and in the form of Team Infinity. At the moment, they are in a very decent spot in command post. They are inside the circle as of now. The UAV will reveal a bit of their position, but at the moment, I guess they are definitely safe. Elsewhere on the map, we have Team Cyanide, who is up against team number 3, who is Team GB2L. And this fight can actually be really, really bad for Team Cyanide, because they have lost a player already. And I would love to see that fight done, to be honest. Spartan, he tries to rush in to his teammates' defenses, but I'm not quite sure if he will be able to take down all those players from Team GB2L. Look at their positioning. They're huddled up inside the compound, trying to prevent Spartan from entering it and taking down players all by himself. He has a double vectors to work with, and we know for a fact that it is a deadly weapon at this particular range. The blue wall pops out, preventing any sort of damage coming in. Team Cyanide, they have to play it real wise. They can't just rush in and expect the kills to pop off. They have to be strategic in the way they proceed towards the compound. At the moment, they're falling back. They're taking a step away and trying to rethink that same strategy that I was talking about.
Yeah, they have to rethink, because if you can't be the leader, you need to rethink and make a story which makes you a leader for this match. And that is what they're trying to do. Cyanide did go for 1 kill, and now it is going to be 4v4 situation. Once the zone starts to close in Salty, there's nothing that can stop this fight. 3 teams are going to collide, and way too equally, except for Team ECL. Tanmoy left alone away from his team, and he was trying to flank out, scout out with somewhere. How long can he survive? And he doesn't survive. He gets eliminated. Just upon my question, Tanmay, I get the answer immediately within a blink of a second. So this is the second team to get eliminated. So ECL is out. Team Cyanide with 2 kills, using the grappling hook guns to rush into the circle, and it is a very easier way to enter the circle without getting attacked very easily. So now there's one team which is going to be, and Fireman gets spotted, is down. So Team Cyanide's entry is not going to be very easy, not going to be very flawless. It is Team GB2L who's going to make sure that the entry goes as tough as possible. 5 kills already down coming from GB2L. What an aggressive play in the match of Kalahari.
Absolutely, this game, GB2L, they've been spot on in their positioning. Look at the way they cut off the rotation of Team Cyanide. One player goes down, and they find themselves right in front of Team LMC. For the fact that Team GB2L, they're not even in the fight. They're not even fighting with anyone else. They're just killing players at their own free will. They're just I would say that is robbing of kills from your enemies. But nonetheless, there's going to be Team B26, and they're in the middle of so many teams out there. There is Team Riot, I believe. There is team number 12. That is Team Swag as well. This fight, I guess, there is going to be a lot of verticality involved in it, because certainly Team B26, they can't see any opposition around them. The opponents, they're on top of them, and this can be so deadly for the teams on top, because eventually the circle is going to close in and they will have to jump down. Team Riot's Maroof, he just goes in, kills 2 players. Cyanide Blade, he gets on to LMC Sparking, and Sparking has been taken down. The MVP of last game has been taken down, Tanya Swag. They try and inflict a lot of damage on Team Electro. Team LMC Shuvo, look at that, he has taken down 2 players all by himself, and now the kills will pop off. We have 9 teams and 28 players to work with. The circle is pretty small, and this can be the war bell ringing. The death is imminent, and all of these bodies, they're gonna fall. This entire region is gonna turn into a graveyard.
Absolutely, because 4 teams are already there. There are 2 teams who are trying to make an entry. It is Team Riot Maruf who's trying to make sure that the team doesn't enter very easily, and the opponents are going to be Team XB. A good damage try attempt to give a good damage with the grenade, but Blue Wall used right on time. Baby Girl doesn't even get a 1 inch of damage over here, and Chrono Shields used both the ends. Let's see who is going to survive, because if this is the chaotic situation, it is going to be way more than difficult, because Arnav gets down standing on the containers, and it is Shuo who is trying to use the Tommy against his enemies, and yes, he does get one knock. He's trying to go for the confirmation, but Shuo gets down to it. Is Maruf and Arnav with no HP left, and Maruf with all his HP possible, he's healing himself. Now Blue Zone would not spare any of the players. It is Team Electro who is trying to get the best advantage possible, having the advantage of circle, having the advantage of heights, and yes, Groza is the gun who is trying to get it. He's trying to shred. Perfect location for Sabit.
Absolutely, it is going to be the perfect location for him. He can get a lot of kills for himself as well as his team from here, this particular position. But how is he going to get inside the circle? That is going to be a question. The circle is as wild as it gets. This is like the Wild West in those Western pop culture movies where there's nothing for you to play. Everything is against your situation. Look at Team XB. Hamim gets a kill for himself with the shotgun. A second confirmation for him. And at the moment, with 3 kills, Team XB, they are with 7 kills right now. They are really going strong, but they have only 2 players to work with, Hamim as well as Ali. At the moment, we have blue walls everywhere because the circuit, it is completely out in the open. 7 teams are still alive, 16 players, 15 players are at the moment still shining. Team Infinity, they're still strong with all their 4 players alive, and they have a very good chance of getting this booyah for themselves. Team number 10, B26, they get 1 kill. Lightout is out there with the shotgun. Team LMC still capturing kills for themselves. B26 with the MP40, they can get a lot of kills for themselves at the moment. 4 teams, 8 players. What is going to happen? Team Infinity, they still have 3 players to work with. I believe 2 players for Team B26 are out. Their Team XP gets eliminated because it's Lightout with the DMR will shut him down. At the moment, 3 teams once again, and 7 players are up on their feet. Team Infinity up against Team B26. It is a 3v3 for them. Team number 7, they have only 1 player to work with. Electrosaf, he's bold and he's brave. He's brave enough to take shots on the opposition in spite of being a lone survivor, but instead he gets eliminated. It's Team B26 who capture the kill for themselves. But now it is a proper 3v3, Tanya. What's going to happen? Kingsman runs in with a double vector, tries to take the shot up against Team B26, not really connecting. Nobin gets him down. Kingsman gets taken down by the play zone. Nobin gets B26, and this is going to be Nobin. He falls, and Santo Jumpy coming in, but Team Infinity get taken down. Team B26 surviving by the skin of their teeth, and this is outrageous, Tanya. I mean, I did not expect that. I did not expect that to happen.
Even I did not expect that to happen. I just had something ringing in my mind that it is Infinity who is going to take away the second booyah for the day. But B26, we cannot underestimate their plays. They just rush into the circle, shred apart as early as possible, and it was left to 1 player where I still felt that the player from Infinity might clutch it out. But somehow, I'm seeing Team Infinity into top 3. They are on the leaderboards with ranked 1, and with this play, I don't think they're going to get stumbled down any closer, because they do have kills. They are into the top 3. So Team Infinity is playing best possible.
Absolutely. We'll have a look at the highlights as well as the replays. And right now, Godwin, this was the first knock that we saw, and I kind of felt that the flank could have been very effective for Team Rage. It could have overturned the entire result of this entire fight, but nonetheless, Godwin failed in that flank, and that made his the life of his teammates so much more difficult, because Sabir, he was out there, he was chased by his teammates GB2L. They captured the kill for themselves, and it was proper squad. It was proper 4v4 fight. Fleps was outrageous, running into the chrono shields, getting 1 player knocked with the grenade and the other with the shotgun, and he got the final kill for himself as well. I wonder if he got 3 kills from this one. I guess he had 2, but that doesn't really matter because Team Rage, they were completely shut down by Team GB2L. But in this one, Team Infinity, they really got those kills against team number 6, which was Team LMC. Yeah. So I mean, I was really so it was really surprising to me that Team LMC, who performed really well on that game, on the game of Purgatory, they kind of succumbed in this one on Kalahari. But I didn't really expect them a consistent performance because coming in from the previous days, coming in from the previous weeks, Team LMC didn't really show signs of dominance. I didn't expect the gameplay to change completely, but yeah, definitely they do have potential. Team Riot, once again, a very consistent team, kind of falling back in their fights because the circle was not in their favor. A lot of action happened in this small little space, Anna, and I kind of loved it. This circle was kind of unusual for me. I've never seen a circle like this before, but it was really exciting for me because the players, they invented little pocket of spaces for themselves and try to hold those. We got to see so many teams and so many players still surviving to the final one, but this was a 3v3 fight. I absolutely loved it.
Absolutely, even I loved it how beautifully one by one the players coming from Team Infinity got down on their knees, and the advantage was bagged very nicely from the B26 team. So this is what I said. Two players were already down. It was left to one, and the player did not want to take the fight. All they wanted to do was just go save themselves for the fire for the final circle, which was just perfect, to be honest. If you know the zone is going to do your work, why rush in? It is better to go save yourself for the final round, for the final. And there was no scope for heal battle though, but still it was a beautiful play. It was a perfect play, not engaging into fight, saving yourself until the end of the circle.
Absolutely. I mean, it was a three. It was a proper 3v3. There were glue walls in between them, and I kind of felt that Team Infinity, the fact that they rushed in, it was a good strategy. They couldn't have done anything better in that particular position, but the fact that Team B26, they were so calm and composed about their gameplay. They just waited for Team Infinity to come into their crosshair, and they just waited to pull the trigger. And when Team Infinity made their move, Team B26, they were ready for it. They were ready with their guns, and they pulled the trigger. It was absolutely brilliant. The final player, he was out there. Look at that. Team B26 Mystics find themselves in the third spot after getting the booyah for themselves. But GB2L, that surprises me, to be honest, Anya. With the second position, with 38 points, this is something which is, I would say, a good performance because they are almost matching up against Team Infinity with 43 points. And I didn't really expect that, but consistent performances coming in from a lot of different teams, including Team LMC as well as Team XP.
Yeah, but if you talk about GB2L esports, they are the highest fraggers until now. You can compare even Team Infinity doesn't have 14 kills. They have it. They have it. So yes, even if they are not getting the booyahs, they are trying to be into the top five, top three. So yes, standing points are back that way, and the rest is their kill, is the firepower, is the damage that they are giving, is the shots they are shooting. It is the perfect way to keep yourself into the top three, into the top three standings. And yes, if you talk about Mystics with one booyah standing tall with 35 points, how close Team LMC is with 33 points as well. So the fight for the top four is very close. The difference between the first and the fourth is only of 10 points, and that can be easily covered with only one booyah and certainly some kills for sure. So yes, we see one team leading the chart with one booyah and kills, and there's a rank two, the position number two, no booyah at all, still on number two with 19 standing points and 19 kill points. I would say the consistency is flowing, the kills are coming very easy for them, or the practice is just paying off what they did.
Yeah, I mean GB2L has had good, have had good games yesterday as well as in the previous weeks. Team Riot had 16 kills in the overall today. So I was kind of impressed with that as well. They are quite below in terms of points table with around 25 points, but I kind of feel they have what it takes to cover up the gap and even come to the top two.
Yeah, absolutely. They do have what it takes to reach there. And I'm very sure they are not going to let this match lose at all. They are going to take it seriously because now they know half of the day is already down. We are on the fourth match already, and now they cannot afford it to lose any further. They want to make sure because it is all up to the league points that matters. Even if you are from the different group, you are not taking away the booyah. But certainly if you're playing well and if you're playing consistent, you can definitely go for the easy go in and not going to take the struggle of planes. But now let's head back towards the purgatory map, and yes, we are seeing how the players are going to perform because rotations does matter in this match. Swag not willing to go, not willing to jump so easily, Infinity as well as Infinity into the plane as well. And if we talk about the flight path, as always, it is diagonal high tier loot zone trying to be contested by two teams which are going to be GB2L, and with them it is going to be Team LMC. Both the teams are performing very well for today. Who is going to survive out of this blue zone? Because yes, the teams are going to make sure if the player is connected, if the fights are getting initiated, they will try to eliminate the team entirely.
Wow. I mean, I haven't really seen this in quite a while. This is going to be Team LMC up close and personal against Team Cyanide. This is a fight that brews up pretty early in this match. I didn't really expect this to happen, but nonetheless, the fight is brewing up in Mill, and both the teams, they do have weapons to work with. Extreme, he probably has a max 7, and he will try and get close to utilize the full potential of this weapon. Team number 8 is Team LMC. They have the upper end of the Mill region, and team number 4, they have moved towards the lower side. Definitely, there's going to be a topographical advantage, but I'm not quite sure if height does play a role in Free Fire. Nonetheless, we'll get to see at the end of this fight. Freeman is out there. He has an SMG to work with, but will it be enough up against the shotguns of Extreme? Because max 7 in this close range, it can really be deadly. The MP5, it can also deal enough damage to take you down. Team LMC, they are so well poised. Team Cyanide's Freeman, he's kind of stuck in a very weird spot for himself, because he can't even make a move, because if he does, he's gonna get taken down by 4 hungry sharks, by players of Team LMC who are waiting for him. At the moment, Team Cyanide, all they can do is try and close in to take the fight, to take an even fight against Team LMC. Skyshoot with the M249 in hand, he will try and go all the way around Team Cyanide and take them and completely finish them from their own routes. He might find Blade out in the open, take some weird shots, but finding no real player. Fireman, he is still holding his position. Blade is still out there trying to save his teammate, but Skyshoot, look at that. He has completely spotted Fireman, and he will take him down. Extreme was the one who got the knock as well as the kill. Team Cyanide lose a player up very early in this game. This is going to be Team LMC who find themselves an advantage, Tanya. What do you think is going to happen? Because Shuvo, he falls down at the moment. Another player goes down for Team Cyanide. All these kills are flowing in. Shuvo's kill has been confirmed, and Team Cyanide, they have climbed on top of Meal at the moment. Extreme gets taken down. Max 7 not really shining in this one. Sparking with the Tommy gun. Will he be able to get the kill for on a keep? I'll have to wait for that.
Absolutely, we'll have to wait for it, but because they have taken one player down from the opponents and they're not going very easy, and the second kill gets confirmed. Sparking and Sky Shoot, both 2 players, except it is only one player playing from Team Cyanide. One is on the knees, and it is going to be a keep with the shotguns. He is trying to give the best shot possible, but somewhere it is SMG versus shotgun,
Wow.
and it is SMG who wins the battle at this point. And yes, the opponents get eliminated. LMC still surviving hard with total of 4 kills, and it was a positive trade. Two players lost, 4 kills gained, and now they are going to get so they are going to go for the search of tokens and use the vending machines, the easiest way to get loot.
Absolutely, it is one of the easiest way to get loot. But I mean, the fact that they lost 2 players early on in the game, it's gonna hurt them a lot, especially because Team LMC, they really wanted to find themselves in the right end of the top 5 placement points, because Team LMC has not been that consistent over the last 4 weekdays of the league season, and the fact that they got a booyah in this day could have actually build up a momentum for themselves to go even further and get 20 league points from today. But with 2 players going down so early in the match, I'm not quite sure that's going to happen. But nonetheless, we have a fight brewing up in Bima Sikte's trip, because Team B26 is up close and personal against Team Riot. Team Riot, who have a lot of kills for themselves to show off, but not enough placement points. If I remember correctly, they had 16 kill points and only 9 placement points. So that goes to show the Team Riot, they're really good with their guns, but not quite good with their foot. So I guess this is a chance for them to redeem both those aspects, I guess. Take B26 down as well as take those rotations inside the circle. At the moment, the fight shouldn't really brawl out, because both these teams, they have enough spacing between them. Both these teams can actually fall back, but at the moment, I kind of feel that since they're in the opposite cliffs of Vimasik's Strip, the fight is not really necessary.
Fight is really not necessary, but if we talk about Team B26, it is Light Out, who very wisely took 3 kills for his team. He was the highest fragger for the previous match. He was the man of match for the previous match, and let's see if the consistency keeps him flowing the same way, and if he can go for the highest fragging person once again. And now not disengaging exactly, trying to avoid the fight. You can go for the rotation. It is just that 5 minutes down of the match, you don't need to go very hard on yourself. Take the decisions, and baby girl trying to get down, one of the players from Team Electro who raced out of their view. Yes, and it was a perfect racing out. There's no team who wants to get down very early, get eliminated very early, and they want to play as safe as possible, as perfect as possible, because as the day tends to gets to the closer towards the end, they want to make sure they get the perfect ending. That is what each and every team is trying to do, and now they are midway through, and it is one player I see trying to enter the vicinity of Team Swag with the cars. Is the entry with the Swag is going to pay them very easily. Not only one, but there are two players who enter the car who are taking entry with the cars. Tamim trying to give the best shot indeed to damage the car. Is he going to be successful?
Oh my god, this is team number 7, Team Electro. They run right on a Team Swag. Sorry9 gets taken down. Anaf is out there with the MP5. Will he do any sort of damage? Sorry9, he's already out of the server at the moment. Team Swag, they find themselves in a very good position inside the compound, but they have lost a player already. For the moment, team number 7, Team Electro, they're all guns blazing at the moment. They have a numbers advantage. 4v3 certainly should go their way. The Chrono Shield deflecting the grenade. Shuvo taking all the damage. 16 HP to work with. Not really enough, but look at this. This is going to be Saf and Sabit. They are still holding out in a different compound, and these two players, they're out there providing backup fire for the teammates. But two players from Team Electro, they've rushed in onto Team Swag, so this effectively makes it a 2v3, Tanya, and I'm not quite sure if Team Electro will be able to convert this, because they've taken down one player already. Sorry9 is out of the game, but three players, Tamim, Anaf and Dagod, they're still very much capable of taking Electro down. Nonetheless, Team Electro, they still try and weigh things out. Dagod tries to go right in their face, but will they get a kill for themselves? Dagod gets one, but instantly gets taken down. This is going to be TMZ. He will get the kill for himself. I guess he will, but the revive, it's going to come in. Anaf will try and rush, and the glue wall is out there to prevent that rush coming in forth. Team Swag, they've lost two players already, and Team Electro, they're just the hell broke loose, certainly, because Team Swag, they don't think that winning this fight is going to be possible. Both these players, Tamim as well as Anaf, they're going to take their run away from the region. Team Electro, I guess these teams, they will try and get hot on their tails and confirm all the kills, because they understand for a fact that Team Swag, they're terrified at the moment from taking fights. Elsewhere on the map, we have Team XP, who is very close against team number 11. This is going to be Team Mask Boys. Jibon takes Ali down, and at the moment, Team XP, they have three players to work with. I'm not quite sure if that's going to work in, because Arthur, he runs in onto the cross, and Jibon gets another knock for himself and confirms the kill for himself as well. Team Mask Boys, they're dominating in this fight. Once again, Baby Girl as well as Hamim, they're once again trying to hold it out, but they will have to be careful of Team B26's presence, because they can't venture out in the open for long. Hamim gets taken down because Nabil falls out from the compound and takes him down as well. Nabil finds himself in a very, very weird spot, takes Nubi down, will try and confirm the kill, because this position, it's absolutely suicidal for him. Mask Boys, with three players to work with, they do have the positioning, but what they can make out of it is going to be the question. Team XP, meanwhile, they've been completely eliminated out of the game. Team B26 finds some stray kills out in the open, and they will get some loot as well. So as of yet, Bermuda has been the most aggressive map, Tanya. I mean, this is not the case every time. We see Bermuda being slow and methodical, where teams try and take the rotations and prioritize them. But in this week's gameplay, I've kind of seen a shift in pattern, and teams, they're just going all guns blazing. Look at that. There is no pause whatsoever. B26, after taking Team XP down, they're targeting Team Electro. I wouldn't say that is a bad decision, though, because the circle, it is a mad circle, to be honest. It is going to close in towards the southern end of the map, but the fights, they can go your way, they cannot go your way. Anything can happen, and taking the chance, only the brave is going to survive.
Only the brave is going to survive, and you need to risk it out if you want to win the fight. Let's see who is ready to risk. If we talk about Team Electro, after 3 kills, they are still holding the same compound. It is Team Swag who got eliminated. I doubt the aggressive entry they attempted. 2 players entering with 2 vehicles, which did not end in their favor, but I do see Seth is trying to make sure the player gets attacked. It is the player coming from B26, shots getting down on his knees, and he's going for the confirmation, and yes, it is the first kill confirmed by Seth. So Team Electro with total of 4 kills already, and now one more player is spotted out, which is going to be Light Out. He did connect some shots, but Light Out with the cover of the ridge, he is trying to go away from this. He doesn't want to take any fight further. After losing 2 players, this is the best decision he can take at the moment. But Team Electro still wanting to hold the same compound, because zone is in their favor, so they don't need to make any change to the play if you are succeeding so nicely.
Absolutely. You don't need to change your plays if you're succeeding. And that is what Team B26 will try and do that as well. At the moment, they are taking the rotations, but then Team Mask Boys, they might actually catch a few players out in the open. And if they do so, I guess it won't really be a question because they will try and capture those kills. But I would love to see the have a look at the map right now because I mean, the circle, it is completely absurd. The first circle being so much southern, it just goes to show that Free Fire, it can throw googlies at you. And if you're being thrown a googly at you, you have to be out there, mentally prepared to face them. At the moment, the rotations are going to be completely off for every team out there. They have to think of a new strategy. And will they be able to do it? That is up for question. Team Electro do have a hard compound, and Team Mask Boys, they're running straight onto Team Electro. Saf is out there. He has an M249 to work with, but sadly he doesn't really put it to good use. Mask Boys, they have the advantage of the fences, but will they be able to go inside the compounds and get those kills? That is going to be a question. Bilal, he has the MP40 to work with, and that is a very, very good weapon. Shimon, he has almost rushed inside the chrono shield, activating his own, and right now things are still gearing up. The fight has still not breached, but yes, both these two teams, they will try and take it out no matter what.
Absolutely, they are going to give their best. As we know, Team Electro is best at it, and Gibbon is already down. What a perfect
Wow.
grenade attack over here. Bilal enters with the pan. He wants to make sure he confirms the kill. Mask B tries to come back as a support for Gibbon. Gibbon holding the grenade launcher. On the attempt of giving one attack, he got counter-attacked and knocked so easily. So it is a perfect situation for them. The player is saved, and now once again they can start the fight. 3 versus 4 is easy to carry, not very difficult, not an impossible situation, but they need to make sure the shots that they are giving, that the shots they are trying to connect are precisely aimed. If they do that, they can take one player down and immediately rush in 2 small compounds right in front of them. Who is going to take the entry? Talking about the entry for the save for the GB2L, they are not getting an easy entry. There's a team Rage who is trying to gatekeep them, and let's see how difficult can they make the entry for this team Alpha, using the snipers, giving some shots. Blue Zone is also doing its lead. Flex down on his knees, and now it is a bad situation. Sky as well as Flex on their knees. It is only Alpha and Cruz who needs to play for them. Sky somehow healed up, revived, and Cruz down on his knees. It is a difficult situation, definitely. GB2L is thriving to enter the zone somewhere. Counter attacks are very strong. The players, they are trying to get them down. Godwin did go on his knees once again. Revived. It is Alpha who is trying to race out of the fight, taking the flank, a perfect flank, not wanting to revive his teammate. Just trying to rush for the safe play. How far can he go with the safe play? He is healing himself. Showing the back and running out is never the strategy. And the team GB2L gets eliminated, and a perfect gatekeeping strategy coming from Team Rage.
Absolutely. Team Rage, they find themselves in a good position, and with the kills that they have, they can actually move forward. We have seen Team Rage not really performing to the best of their capabilities, but in this fight, they really showed up. Team GB2L, a team that was really consistent, was second in terms of today's points table. They've been taken down in 9th position, and that's going to shift a lot of teams. We have a triple threat forming up here. Team Mask Boys go up against team number 7, that is Team Electro. Both of these two teams are huddled up in their individual compounds. They're not really trying to force out the fight from within. I guess both of these two teams are just waiting for each other's mistakes. Nonetheless, we have a fight brewing up. This is going to be Team Infinity. They try and shower some lead on Team LMC, and definitely Team LMC taking a lot of damage. The blue circle closing in. It is going to dish out a lot of damage to Team LMC because Team Infinity, they're on the right end of it. At the moment, they are in the perfect position to gatekeep them. Skyshoot might just get taken down. He is still trying to tank all the damage from the blue zone. I guess he's the only player who is still surviving for his team. But Team Infinity, they don't take a direct entry into the circle. Instead, they try and loop their way inside a factory where Team Riot is just waiting for them. And I guess they will welcome them with warm hugs. And definitely Shuvo, he was up there with the M249, taking 2 players down. Santos' kill has been confirmed. Sam is out there as well. He is down on his knees. Nobin is the last one who is still up on his feet. He's stacking a lot of damage from the blue zone and trying to heal himself up, but I don't think he will be able to do it because team number 9, Team Riot, they are like hungry sharks waiting for the kill. Nobin manages to enter the circle barely by the skin of his teeth. He needs to heal himself up, but I don't think he's healthy enough to take the fight up against Team Riot. Elsewhere, Team Rage also trying to make their way inside the circle. It is a completely open circle, Tanya, with a little bit of factory in it. So Team Riot, they are definitely in a very good position. They will have have some advantage to work with. All the teams are rotating in from the opposite end, so definitely they will have a clear line of view on whoever is coming in from the blue circle to the white circle, and they will be easily taking them down.
Yeah, they can be easily taken down, but I think Team ECL is going to be taken down very easily, being out of the zone, and Team Electro still within the same compound with same number of kills, and this time they're fighting another team which is going to be one player down. And with the double vector, what else can you expect if you try to go so close and to take the fight? They are trying to get the loot out of the death crates, and yes, you have to do that because you have to get the resources from any opponents and then take away the another fight. How that is how you heal yourself up and you prep yourself up for the next fight. Over here, Seth getting down with the cover of the fence. He is definitely going to be revived for now, but how long can he survive? Because it is a team opponent to them. It is Team Rage who doesn't want an easy entry. We did see Team Rage doing the best gatekeeping possible. Once again, they are using the same strategic gatekeeping, and how strong can they go? But if we talk about Riot, Anaf using the Groza and giving a very good damage, landing damage on every bullet. They are using Maruf, and what a perfect elimination of this team. And it was 3 to the eyes with total of 5 kills. The fighting shots would not stop. Maruf still giving some good shots, and now it is only 5 teams and 14 players, 2 minutes remaining.
Absolutely, Tanya. The Team Riot, they had the circle to work with, and they really gate-kept well the circle, meanwhile shifting away from them, and that just makes their life so much more difficult. Team Rage, they have the grenade launch to work with. I mean, can take the entirety of Team Electro down with one clean sweep, but Team Electro, they have the grenade launch to work with as well. Each of these teams try and serve equal blows, but Superman not really connecting a lot of those shots from them before he really survive. I'm not quite sure of it, but I mean, with the Groza dealing a lot of damage, he's still the last one who is still standing on his feet, and he survives for his team. But the circle closes in. Will he manage to revive his teammate? I'm not quite sure of it, but Team Riot, they find themselves up against Team B26. Will they be able to take them out? That is going to be the question. The circle closes in, and it will be a dangerous position for each and every one of these teams. They have only cover they have is going to be their glue walls and the grenades popping out, not really dealing a lot of damage. Maruf will try and heal himself up, will try and be a back line of defense for his team. Meanwhile, Anaf will try and go in with the Groza. He gets light out, he gets taken down, and the kill has been confirmed as well. Triple kill for Team Riot's Anaf. I mean, meanwhile, with 5 kills already, he's just waiting for the fight to end. And meanwhile, Anaf will try and go up close and personal. Takes out B26 Mystic. It was Bladders who got taken down. It is gonna be Maruf who will try and get the kill of Amin. Amin trying to avoid the fight, but not really. That is not gonna be possible because the circle is out there. Team Riot is out there. They're hungry sharks in the water. Once again, Team Riot, what a fantastic booyah in their bag.
Absolutely, it was a fantastic one. But I like the play coming from Amin. How nicely, sneakingly he hid himself, avoiding the fight. That is how he got on the rank 2. Otherwise, if he would have showed himself that he's standing there, it would have not been the case.
Yeah.
So yes, Amin's sneaky skills were very good for this round. But somewhere Riot, once again, we are seeing them performing very well. It was not a good day until now, but definitely the tables are turning once again with every match passing. The teams are shining up. The teams are improving. Riot definitely played very well. Let's head back towards the highlights of this match. And here they are right in front of your screen. We are seeing Team LNC, how they engage into this fight against Team Cyanide, confirming few kills. And yes, they dominated over here. But then Team Cyanide tried to give counter attack somewhere using all the chronos, all the blue walls, because it was just a land and fight situation. They did not have much of resources to work with. And over here, Shubo gets down, Extreme gets down. They did trade out very nicely, 4 kills, 2 players still remaining, and then they headed towards the vending machines for the loots. This was a fair play coming from LNC. Yes, they could have done better, but somehow, somewhere, it was a good trade.
Absolutely, I guess the fact that they had the higher ground advantage, they could have survived with all 4 of their players, but that was not really the case. They kind of fell apart, but nonetheless, it was Team Swag's dare god. He got 1 knock for himself, but instantly gets traded out. Team Electro, they captured this compound so good. Team Swag, they had no answer to the questions posed by Team Electro. Nonetheless, it's going to be Team XP, and they were taken down by Team Mask Boys, if I remember correctly. Baby Girl trying to survive. I guess he was the one who fell to Team B26. Nonetheless, Team Mask Boys got a lot of kills for themselves, but not really the placement to show off. I would love to see where they actually stand in terms of the original points table, because they have been putting up good performances, Tanya. They've been getting a lot of good fights against teams who have played really, really well. But eventually, when it comes to placements, eventually when it comes to being in the final circle and being present, it is just not there. But Mask Gibbon, it was one comic error that we got to see. Generally, the grenade launcher is something which is supposed to be a shredder for your opponents, but there you kind of mistime it, you kind of miss aim it, and you shred yourself apart. That was Gibbon out there knocking himself down, but nonetheless, Team GB2L, I guess they were the ones who fell to Team Rage in this particular fight, and I mean, definitely Team Rage had the upper hand considering their position. Alpha trying to run away from this fight completely, not even bothering to take the fight against Team Rage. Superman was out there. He was really raging because, you know what, I don't like players not taking fight with me. If you want to fight me, fight like a man and face me head on, but that was not really the case. Team Electro is really taking down Team Mask Boys in a very cool fashion, calm and collected fashion, because with 5 kills they had so much position to work with, they had so many players to work with. But this was gatekeeping at its very best. Team Riot, look at that positioning. Anaf with the Groza at this range. I mean, he knew for a fact that he was taking players down, and he certainly did. Team Eclipse, they had to fall. Team Rage, another good fight up against Team Electro. It was a pretty even fight, I guess. Both the teams had only one survivor. Amin was the one who was surviving in the end. Sabir tried to go up close and personal. Superman did the same thing with the MP40, but the Chrono Shields, they deflected all those bullets coming in. But Amin was the one who was not really engaging in the fight early on. He was the one who was sitting in at the back benches and just waited for the perfect opportunity to press the kill switch. The final fight was between Team Riot and Team B26. B26's Bladders were the only one who was still surviving. With all 4 players climbing on him, he had no chance of surviving. He was probably taken down by the placement. I'm not quite sure of it. And the same goes for Team Rage's Amin. I guess he just ran into the play zone trying to avoid the kill from Team Riot. And I guess they did that. With 7 kills, Team Riot, a booyah for themselves to show off. I guess this was a very good performance coming in from Team Riot, considering they don't have a booyah to work with before this match. I guess this match is going to push them in terms of the points. They will also get them the necessary league points as well.
Yeah, absolutely. This match might be the table turner for them. Let's see what it is. We are going to get the league points at the end of the day. So it was a good match overall. Good gatekeeping say scene, and I would not deny Team Electro performed very well. They hold on to very good. So viewers, you also
Yeah.
hold on to the screen. Stay here. We will just be back with 2 matches remaining for the day. And yes.
লাস্টেতে গেমিং উইথ নাইমে জোন এলিমেন্ট
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Free Fire Bangladesh Championship 2021. This is me, Salty, and with me, don't make that
With
face.
me.
All right, I'm going to introduce you. I have a very good introduction in mind. With me, I have All Asia #1 conqueror, Grandmaster Radiant, caster, competitor, great cook in the world, coffee maker in the world as well. Mamba Senior, I mean.
Good lord, it almost feels like I paid you to do this intro, Salty. But hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show, to the Free Fire Bangladesh Championship. 4 intense matches. It is still the second week, day 2 of the second week. But of course, we're going to talk about the matches which are left. 2 more matches to go. But having a look at the map recap, that's interesting. That's interesting. We have 4 different teams, 4 different matchups, and 4 different booyahs coming in.
Absolutely. Team LMC, Mystics, as well as Team Riot come in from Group C. Infinity is the only one that come in from Group A. So there goes. I mean, the dominance of the dominance of teams from Group C continues on today as well. And I'm not really sad about it, because week 1 has not really been a very good week for Group C, but week 2 has been the sign of real dominance. Infinity, they've shown really good performances because they've got to top 3 quite a few times, but the booyahs have not really been flowing in. I wonder where they are in terms of the points table. I kind of feel that they will be somewhat in the top 3, because they've had top 3 performances pretty much the entire duration of the day. The last 2 games, they matter a lot, because the league point conversion, it just changes up the entire scenario. You know, like everything that you're working for in a day, it's just going to be converted into those 20, 17, 14 and respective points. That is what you're fighting for. You want to get those extra 3 points or your extra 2 points.
That is true. That is absolutely true. But let's hop right into the game, because I'm excited, especially for Kalahari when it comes up. But for now, we're going to have Purgatory. And it's going to be interesting to see, because it's a table turner. This is where the conventions don't apply. Teams can come and teams can go. Any team can go out there and get a booyah. And nothing about this map ever makes sense. And I love it. I love the chaos. And it really makes me look like a mad scientist if I put in the best way possible, the most appropriate way possible. But Salty, what do you think about this map?
I mean, the map is beautiful, but the best way to say it is going to be like a Beauty and the Beast, because it can really turn out to be chaotic and bloody. Somewhat, it is kind of similar to you, because you're beautiful as well as chaotic as well. So
Are you flirting with me?
I mean, did you forget we have a date after the cast?
Oh, we don't. Stop lying, Salty.
Uh,
Oh man, fun times, definitely fun times sharing the desk with you. But look at the drops. Though we have practically no teams towards Marbleworks or Quarry, but 3 teams towards 4 teams, as a matter of fact. As a matter of fact, towards Southern Island, which is interesting. Now, does this have to do with the plane path, or it's just a very highly contested drop zone? It's something that I can't really make out, but no, whatever it is, it looks fairly intense, and we're going to see a lot of fights coming in the first 5 minutes, which is a good thing, which is definitely a good sign, because the mid game, then sure, is slow, but at least there's not a lot of chaos towards the end game, because if the teams play slow mid game, slow early game, the end game is just absolute hell. There's no way possible to keep a track of all the fights which are happening.
True. But the Southern Island, they've generally been more chaotic. Central has always been the source of a lot of early fights. We've seen this week 1 as well. And the same goes here as well. Team Rage as well as Team Riot. I mean, I've seen both of these 2 teams meet each other quite a few times yesterday. Today, this is probably the first time they're meeting each other right now. But, I mean, they're like a pair that has been made in heaven. The stars line up for all these 2 teams, for these 2 teams to meet specifically, but the first blood has been drawn by Team Electro. So I wonder where this fight is going on. But as of yet, we're still having a look at teams at the Central, because Team Rage, they've actually fallen back. Generally, what we get to see is Team Rage try and take a fight against Team Riot and prove themselves the better of the 2. But this time around, they try and loot themselves up and fall back from the fight itself. They know for a fact that Team Riot is here, and they don't want to engage. I guess that is the right option, because Team Riot, they are certainly having a good run of form right now. Cyanide's Blade, though, gets taken down out in the open. Bilal will confirm the kill for himself, and Team Cyanide suddenly find themselves one-man shot.
Yep, they suddenly find themselves one-man shot. That is absolutely true. But if you talk about Chipon, look at him going on with the Woodpecker, trying to find a frag for himself, but he's shooting at nothing but air over there and a fence, which is going to be very upset. Why you gotta shoot at me, mate? When there's nobody behind me. But look at Adion. He can probably get a frag for himself if he wishes, but he's just trying to provide backup. But Mask opening their kill count. They have a kill, they have a knock, which they can confirm, which is eventually going to add one more to the tally. Okay then. Did you see that lock onto... Oh! Nabir going in and getting a frag onto Ark. That was a good shot. The Parafal doing a lot of damage.
I mean, I kind of felt like he connected the first shot as well, but just tried and I don't know, adjust his crosshair a bit more and connected the final nail in the coffin. Team Mask Boys. So they're going in hot and heavy against Team Cyanide. I wonder how many players are still surviving. I guess only one player is surviving, and Nibir is going after him. He's hot on his tails and chasing him down. Will he be able to get the kill? That is going to be the question. He is certainly on right from the get-go in Purgatory. Spartan, he tries to survive, but Nibir knows exactly where the player is. And in the sniper tower, I guess all these 4 players, they're going to shard in those grenades, or probably not even use the grenades. They're going to shard themselves in the bodies. They are going to climb up the stairs, but Nibir, he goes in himself with the SMG in hand. Will he survive the double vector? I'm not quite sure. The time turner pops out, but he pops out of the sniper tower as well. It is probably time for someone else to do the honors, but Nibir, he will try yet again. He climbs up the stairs once again, gives him another chance, but this time the double vectors as well as the glue walls block any sort of possibility of players trying to survive. Spartan gets a knock on Bilal. This is going to be really, really difficult if Nibir does not get the revive in time. What is he doing at the moment? If I were in his position, I would have gone for the kill. Nonetheless, it doesn't really matter because the player, he has been extinguished completely.
Well, that is true, but let's have a look at the scoreboard as well. We have Team Infinite with 50 points. We have P26 right behind them, trailing with 3 points. And I still remember at the end of game 2, there was a massive point difference, but now it's just 3 points between the first, second, and the third team. Of course, GB2L. After a good start, they've not been able to capitalize on it, so it's going to be interesting to see how it actually all turns out.
Yeah, I mean, I remember for a fact that GB2L Esports, they had a 1 point difference from Team Infinity after game 3 or game 4 when I was casting with Tanya, but now they have actually dropped down in terms of the points table, find themselves 10 points trailing from the top, and that is certainly not a very positive sign for them. Team number 9, Team Right, they've been really good, but against Team Electro, I wonder how they're going to perform. The time turner pops out and gives him a lot of cover to work with, but Team Electro, they're hurled up in one single corner. One grenade, one accurate grenade can actually take them out, but Team Right, they're going to wait it out. I don't really think that they're going to dive into fight against Team Electro because that is not going to be in their favor, but Anaf, he rushes in no matter what. But the MVP once again, we are watching the same player on our screen, to be honest, and we know for a fact why this guy is an MVP, because this guy he's a rush god mamba. He rushes in without any fear of death. I mean, it's like he's a Grim Reaper himself.
Yep, he is a Grim Reaper himself, but you gotta make sure that while you're trying to rush in, you don't end up sacrificing your own teammates as well, because I won't call him the Lord of Death, but the Messenger of Death is more of an appropriate term, because everyone over here wants kills, everyone wants a piece of the action, but Timzo is actually, hold on, it's Zed, TM Zed is going to find a flag onto Shu, and Shu is going to be eliminated from the server, which is going to be very unfortunate, but you got to deal with it. Sometimes you win some, sometimes you lose some, and that is the beauty of this game. It's the story of the game, and Riot, in the meantime, even though they walked away with the Booyah in the last game, the question is, can they repeat the outcome of the last game, or are they going to struggle with this one?
Definitely, I guess Purgatory, it kind of has no patterns in the way teams approach it. If you have to be in the right place at the right time to win a game in Purgatory, but you cannot really ensure the fact that you're always in the right place at the right time, because that is not how this map works. It always throws you a lot of questions, a lot of surprise questions, and backing them is going to be a tough task. Anaf knocks himself down with a grenade that was not really supposed to be thrown that way. Alvi finds himself right out in the open. He has only a tree as a cover, but I'm not quite sure if he's going to survive the onslaught that Team Electro is going to throw at him. Alvi uses the time turner at his defense, but all the players, they're going to jump in, tries to survive, uses the glue wall. Alvi trying to walk away from this particular fight. Will he survive? He runs for his life, but eventually gets surrounded from all directions. That was That was an encounter by Team Electro, and there goes another player. Maruf, the last one who is still standing from Team Right. I guess he will run for his life and run away from this entire fight for itself. Elsewhere on the map, we have another fight brewing up. It's going to be Team XB up against another team. I wonder which team it is. It is Team GB2L Esports. Both of them are fighting in the blue zone, and this can be really, really deadly. Arthur confirming a kill for himself with the Max 7. He tries to do another one. He gets GB2L Alpha with a headshot, but instead gets taken down by the Cruise. This is not good for Team XB's Arthur. It was really, really good jump peak as well as headshot with the Max 7. But the fact that he got traded out with no support whatsoever, this is so sad for Team XB. I kind of felt heartbroken there.
That was heartbreaking. That is true. But well, Team Electro, they do have 5 kills to work with, and that's a good start for them. The only thing that they would be worried about is their own score and their own position in the group. And as long as they're doing okay, I don't think it really matters. But look at Sparking. Holy hell! The mayor is going to get knocked out. He's going to feel the taste of lead in his mouth for the next 1 week, because the way he got taken down. That was incredible. But Sparking getting 1 more kill for himself. The dual vectors shredding the opposition to bits, and the opposition just falling like a deck of cards.
Absolutely. I don't really think the Team LMC has been performing this good in the other match days, but today they are a different version of themselves. I guess this is going to be Team LMC Team LMC 2.0, because the way they've been taking the duels, it's absolutely amazing, especially this man, Sparking. I love the fact how he's been getting those kills. I love the fact how he's been engaging for his team and getting kills for his team, because you know what? You need someone to open up spaces for your team. If you're taking a 4v4 fight, you want a player who is going to open up the fight, get a knock early on in the game, get a knock early on in the fight so that your team can actually rush in. And Sparking is the man for Team LMC. Nonetheless, there's going to be Team Rage once again, just trying to hold them on themselves. I guess we are going to be proceeding into the slow mid game of Purgatory, because we had a lot of early fights. So Riot is still surviving. Very close Team Infinity though. Maruf, I'm not quite sure how long he's going to hold on. But apart from that, I don't really see any other fight brewing up, Mamba. The map, it's pretty peaceful. But the circle, it can be very, very nutty, because just have a look. The river just flows in right in the middle of it. All 3 islands are inside the circle for a fact. And this can be really, really deadly, because no one can predict which island the circle is going to end up in.
The main island. That's where the circle's going to be. Yep, that is exactly where the circle's going to be, unless it ends up in the water. I think there are only 2 possibilities, either the water or the main island. And if the game really hates me, it's going to go towards golf course.
I'm sure the game doesn't hate you. I don't think anybody loves you more than me though, but I'm not quite sure about the hating part. But anyway, we have teams on 2 islands spread up. Team Eclipse, Romjan is still out there. Team Rage is out there as well. Swag holding themselves on the riverbank, which is a very good position to work with. But then the danger zone comes in, and exactly the position that I was talking about, the riverbanks, those are going to be the source. You know, like initially where when the Britishers used to capture countries and take them under their own command, they always tried and target these I don't know what you call them, the docks, where most of the trades as well as the businesses used to happen. I guess this is going to be that business side of things as well. I guess the riverbanks are going to be the source of the best positioning as well as a lot of kills for most of the teams, and those who capture those riverbanks, they're going to be the most profitable.
Yep, you gotta have map control, you gotta have a good position. Okay, then Sparking is gonna find 1 more frag for himself, actually finishing on that player as well. So Alpha trying to stay alive. Yes, he does have a shotgun to work with, will get a frag for himself, but GB2L is really struggling. Kneps is going to go down, so is Sky. It is all going to come down to Alpha, who's going to try and bring it back for his team. But it's not going to be easy. It is definitely not going to be easy. He's taking a couple of shots, trying to finish off that kill as well, but will fall back. Can he find 1 more kill? Can he make it a 1v1 instead of a 2v1? He spotted a player out, is still trying to stay alive. He's going to jump around, but misses that shot. Still trying to survive, but eventually he is going to fall, because it's not easy winning a fight against an entire team shooting at you, or especially when there are 2 different teams shooting at you. At that point, the only thing you can do is pray and hope for the best, but of course at the same time not lose out on confidence, do not lose out on patience, and just try and play the best game you can, because there are a lot of things that you can't control, but the things that you can, you want to try and execute them to the best of your abilities.
Absolutely. I mean, it was a 1v1 for Team GB12 versus LMC, but then LMC, the player who was still surviving, he wisely revived all of his players, and it immediately became a 1v3. Nonetheless, Kingsman with the grenade popping up right at the exact spot where you want to be, sparking, tanking a lot of damage, but double vectors of Kingsman, it is going to be there. Kingsman confirming the kill for himself. CMWow is going to take down Extreme, and there goes the entire team of LMC. They fall down like a house of cards, and CMWow is going to get revived nonetheless. Team Infinity, though, they've completely shut down Team LMC like a gate, and they capture the entirety of Brasilia. But the circle, I guess it has moved out of Brasilia, Mamba. As I talked about here, I mean, the game probably doesn't love you as much as I do. I said that.
That is, well, I mean, here's the thing. You can try and predict zones as much as you can, but eventually there will always be a zone or two which don't work out in your favor. But there is a rule of thumb which you can follow. Okay, look at that though. Zid might just actually go down, but he's going to make it go inside the shield, using his own shield, but not being able to dish out any damage. He's chasing him down! He's chasing him down like a shark in the water smelling blood. But does get the kill. I'm intrigued to see how exactly the next zone is going to shape up, because yeah, this is interesting. Honestly, here's the thing, right? The center of the zone, if it's in water, it usually tries and go towards the larger landmass. But then again, I think the volume, actually the area of the second largest landmass on the map was more in the circle. So I think that's where it chose to go.
Yeah, I mean, that's a lot of mathematics, to be honest, but I mean, I kind of said that the riverbanks are going to be a really good source of both position as well as kills, and I guess that is what is going to happen. Novi, though, with the grenade launcher, takes down the entire team of Mask Boys, or rather, it's Team Infinity. Else, I mean, wait a second, did we see that kill? I'm not quite sure if I followed that, though. I was having a look at the kill feed and I was really surprised that Lumi got 3 kills all by himself in a single sweep. But nonetheless, B26, they have 3 kills to work with. The circle has completely shifted away from the mainland and has moved towards the second largest landmass and towards Marble Works, where no team actually had dropped in. So things are going to be very difficult for the teams who are trying to rotate from their from the mainland. The bridge is going to be their only source of rotation, and the bridge is already camped by team number 6. We generally don't see bridge camps coming in, but in this game, in this meta, I mean, it is just becoming more and more prominent, Mamba. And right now, all these teams, that is going to be Team Rage as well as others, they're just gonna show the superiority because of their positioning, I guess, because all these teams, team number 10, that's Team B26, as well as team number 7, that is Team Electro, they're going to suffer. They're going to suffer really bad when the blue zone closes in, as well as they don't really have any sort of place to go to.
Yep, they are definitely going to suffer, and there's no doubt about that. But then again, Shots is going to get knocked down. One more player, actually 3 players being knocked out at the same time. It's going to come down to Nubi. And Nubi is going to have a lot of fighting to do. It does take a couple of shots, but it's being shot at as well. Staying alive over here is going to be an impossible task. Electro TMZ, being the vector god he is going to find one more kill for himself. But sorry, taking a lot of damage. He needs to stay alive. He needs to take it slow. If he gets knocked down, his team is actually going to lose out on 2 players, not 1, because the other one will have to go out and revive him. And that's unfortunate. But the zone has turned out to be a massive surprise.
Absolutely. And once again, Team Swag do find themselves in good position. They will be eventually fighting up against Team Rage, who was, as of yet, they were bridge camping, but now they shift their focus on to the circle, which is actually not towards the mainland as well. It is moving towards the river. It is right in the center of it. One half of the circle is on land and one half of it is in water. Irrespective of that, Team Swag as well as Team Rage, they're gonna exchange some bullets. Knocks are being exchanged as well. Team Swag, though, finding themselves on the right end of things. They get 2 knocks confirmed. Amin is down on his knees, and I guess Godwin was also being targeted. The glue walls, they are to be broken, and Dare God knows exactly that. He has broken the glue wall and Godwin gets taken down. That is exactly how you want to play tandem with your teammates. And now I guess this is the signal for Team Swag to press the kill switch. They want to go aggressive. Sabir is out there behind the glue wall. This can be really bad news for him, because 2 players are going to climb in on him. Just have a look. 3 players climbing in on him, and Team Rage gets taken down. This is going to be Team Swag. A brilliant booyah for them, and I just love the fact how they utilize their positioning as well as their knowledge of how to play those water circles.
Yep, playing the water circle is actually very important, and we've seen a complete water circle as well. I don't know if you've seen the map or the match,
Yeah.
but I remember one of the players actually used the hoverbird and went on to kill those players in the water, which could not shoot at him because he had a hover to work with. But of course, we're gonna have a look at the replays as well and understand how this all actually turned out, because the way the entire match went on, there were a lot of back and forth moments. And Purgatory, I've always said, is not a map where logic prevails. It's not a map where the outcomes make sense, and it's something that we get to see more often than not on Purgatory.
Absolutely. I mean, I would love to see love to see the highlights, because Team Masked Boys, this was another team that I kind of missed out. They had a very good start early on in the game. We saw how they dominated Team Cyanide, but after that, I don't really know where this team actually went. I mean, how did they get taken down? What rotations they put forward? I'm not quite sure what happened to the entirety of Team Masked Boys. But nonetheless, in the start, they were really, really dominant. Team Riot, as good as ever. But this time around, I guess they were the ones who were taken down. I mean, we talked about it, right? We talked about the grenade. It was an absolute fail. Alvi trying to run away from his death, eventually meeting his fate, because he was being surrounded by all the different players of Electro, and the last remaining player from Team Riot, he had to run for his life, but eventually he was to fall as well. But I mean, this fight was another good one. We remember how Arthur just jump peeked and took Alpha down, but then eventually he had no support to work with. This was Sparking, and Sparking was so dominating with the M60 as well as with the double vectors. I just loved so many of the fights that we got to see. Masked Boys completely succumbed to Team LMC in this particular one. I guess this was the one where they got taken down.
Yep, that is true. We talked about the nade, but then again, seeing it hits different. And honestly, once I get going while I'm laughing, it's impossible to stop me. I remember doing a show, and this was like early in the morning. We were doing a show in a different time zone, and again, same a roster I've worked with for a very long time. And you just know that there's an internal joke going on, and we have all the faces on the screen. And everyone's holding up a smile, everyone's smiling under their mustache. And everyone wants to break out in laughter. We actually had to end that segment earlier because we could not control our laughter. We ended that segment 5 minutes earlier because we were laughing with tears rolling down our cheeks, and we just could not contain ourselves. And in a 5-year-long elaborate career, this has happened once, but oh my goodness, I can never forget that night. It was so funny, and I'm just hoping we get to see something like that sometime soon on this test as well, and it'll be a good memory, because sure, we'll be scared to death of being fired, but at the same time, it's a lot of fun.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm not sure about you, but certainly I'd have the fears of being fired nonetheless. But this is Team Electro, and they were being fired at the moment. In B26, they were really in a high ground position. They should have been dominating, but Team Electro, they fired in those counter shots, and TMZ, he got a lot of kills coming in from this particular one. Nobi was the last one who was still standing, trying to survive with the use of glue walls, but eventually was to meet his death. But Team Swag, this was one fight which they really, really dominated. Team Rage, they kind of split themselves up. There was no trade potential in between them, and Team Swag, they just isolated players and extinguished them one by one. Just have a look. Daregod will try and break down the glue wall, and there's going to be another player. I believe it's going to be Daregod who is going to snipe down Godwin, and Anaf is going to confirm the kill, and then shift their focus onto Sabir, who is trying to use a glue wall to his advantage, but he couldn't really do anything because all the 3 players of Team Swag, they're just going to jump in on him and take him down. That was I don't know what. That was murder. That was ruthless.
Murdered by weapons or words? I think weapons is actually a better choice, because words hurt. They hurt, and you survive to think about it day and night. So, well, I might as well be on the server and get eliminated instead of being made fun of for the next 5 years. But this is what we love about our jobs, don't we? We have so much power with our words that we could practically make or break a story. But then again, we have to be responsible as well, because my favorite childhood superhero said, with great power comes great responsibility. And Tobey Maguire is the only Spider-Man that I've ever remembered. But getting back to the game, Salty, last match of the day. Second week, day 2. What are your expectations?
I mean, Kalahari has always been good. Like, it is exciting right from the get-go because we get to see early fights, but the rotations are going to be really, really crucial because the last match we saw at Kalahari, the circle was kind of different. I had never seen a circle in Kalahari. There was a lot of verticality involved in it. There were a lot of teams surviving, a lot of blue walls. It was like a comedy of errors, and I just loved that kind of ending to Kalahari. And I guess it would be interesting if we get to see something of that same sort in this one as well, and not get a traditional circle or a traditional, I don't know, run of show.
Well, I'm not sure about how traditional it's going to be or how conventional the drops are going to be, but you talk about, you talk about Kalahari. One thing that people miss out on, sure, there's a lot of verticality and people rightly assume that, high ground has an advantage. Sure, third person perspective, an even bigger advantage, but towards the end of the game, when the zone is actually pushing you off the clip, it's a massive disadvantage. So you need to know when to rotate and when not to rotate, and definitely getting the timing right while you're in the last 3 circles is imperative.
Yeah, I mean, I had actually a very elaborate discussion with Crips once about this, that when the circle, when you are having a high advantage position, definitely you probably will have certain advantage to work with, but I guess we'll return to that conversation later on because Team XP find themselves few of the kills. Light Up gets one on XP early, but here we have Team Rage who's fighting against Team GB2L. This was the place where these two teams met last time out as well. Confinement was the same spot where Team Rage actually got taken down by GB2L. Yet once again, these two teams meet. And I'm interested, I'm excited to see this fight brawl out yet again because this is going to be a repetition of what happened in the last Kalahari game. And is there going to be a difference? I'm not quite sure. I remember last time it was Godwin who was taking on the flanking role for Team Rage. His flank failed and immediately Team Rage kind of crumbled down. Is it going to be a repetition of that? As I said, I'm not quite sure of it.
Yep, I'm not quite sure of it either, but that nade is going to take down one player, knock out the other. And I'm not sure where the awareness was on that one, but that's going to hurt. That's definitely going to hurt. The shield coming up as well, so that even if they do get shot at, they have some time to make sure that they heal up. And talk about swag. A lot of swag, a lot of swagger, staying alive and making sure that they're not taking fights which are not necessary. Sorry, which are not unnecessary. That's double negatives.
I mean, you said not necessary, which is basically unnecessary. So yeah, that was right.
Oh, well, everyone has a brain freeze at times. That's okay.
Definitely. But this is Team Rage once again. And Sabir trying to take on the flank role does kind of worry me for a moment because Sabir, the kind of player he is, you would ideally want him to be your first form of defense or the first entry frag, but nonetheless he's going to want to flank and try and dish out a lot of damage. Eventually his position is going to get revealed and he needs to fall back, but will he be able to do it? I'm not quite sure of it because team GB2L, they want to ride onto him. Sabir though gets down to Cruz, will try and confirm the kill for himself. Alpha is out there taking a lot of damage. The Cruz has been confirmed. Team GB2L find themselves not in the right end of things this time. Our Team Rage will be having an upper hand in this particular fight. 4v3. Who is going to come out on the right end of it, Mamba? Go for a prediction.
I will come out on the right side of it. I don't know, man. I'm a lefty, so I don't really care. But well, I think I think that Team Rage can actually come out on top of this one.
Yeah, the kind of position they're in. I mean, he has the upper.
They actually are at a disadvantage if you look at the weapons, just by the way.
Did he have a double vector? I'm not quite sure. I guess he had a close range weapon, so that can actually turn things around. But then Superman, he just rushes in, gets some flips, and this can make things really, really bad. Godwin has the shotgun to work with, and there you go Team Rage. The entirety of Team Rage, they just rush in and completely wipe out Team GB2L off the server. You were right, Team Rage. They did come out on the right end of things.
I guess this is why I get paid the big bucks, huh?
Absolutely. Absolutely, big brains,
jokes apart, you know.
But you know what?
I would. Yeah.
You know what? Like, I would want to come back to the conversation of the high ground versus low ground debate. It has been so talked about, and I just can't get tired talking about it because a lot of theory crafting, a lot of everything goes into it. But I guess we have to talk about the current standings right now. Infinity is still maintaining their position with 61 points. Mystics with 57. Electro with 56. Pretty close. Team Rage, there's a big gap though, 47. Again, Team Riot 46. So the gap is so less that I can't even think of it. And when these points, then these 1 point difference are going to get converted into 3 point different league points, it is going to hurt real bad.
That is true. It's definitely going to hurt real bad because they're going to be at the bottom, and you don't get a lot of points for being the last or being at the bottom. And yeah, man, being on the top is always better. Trust me. It gives a lot of points. It does definitely give you a lot of confidence and a lot of buffer to work with. But if we talk about the player of the match, we have Swag the Meme with 3 kills. So there's that. But I still remember yesterday's match where one of the players actually had 8 kills, Salty. 8 kills. That's not a joke.
I mean, it was Agent Jamil. I still remember the name. That guy, he is generally a monster when he comes onto the battleground. The Mask Boys find themselves an early knock, and this is going to be one player from Team XP, and his kill has been confirmed. One player, Baby Girl, he's just trying to run away for his dear life. Will he be able to hold on to it? I'm not quite sure because Bilal, he's just hot on his tails with the VSS. He might just be able to capture the kill because the glue walls are eventually going to break and he will eventually run out of resources to work with. Bilal, he's still chasing him down at the moment. How much can Baby Girl endure? That is going to be a question. This might be a sad death. This might be a sad ending for Team XP, and eventually, yes, it is certainly a sad ending. I mean, you can play a soft, mellow music in the background while Team XP was being eliminated, but I'm not going to go that dark.
Well, I'm not sure about that, but we are 6 minutes down in the match. The last match of the day, 1936 players alive, and we've seen a couple of fights early on, which is good, which is great as a matter of fact. Mask with 2 kills for themselves, all the 4 players alive, which is very important. And I've always been very adamant on the fact that numbers advantage is something that nobody can take away from you. No matter what kind of a position you're in, as long as you have the numbers advantage, you can always play the trade game and come out on top. But you got to get the trades. You can't just expect numbers to work themselves out. So, of course, you got to work hard. But apart from that, I think, having all the players alive, especially in the last 2 circles, is a massive boon.
Absolutely, the different kind of angles that you get to cover, the amount of intel that you can get, and the amount of diversity that you can show in your fights. Because we have seen a lot of times that there are several players. If it's a 4v2, suppose it's a 4v2, all right, in the final circle, one player just goes in crazy against the opposition without caring of his own life. He knows for a fact that there are 3 players to back me up. That player, he rattles up the defenses of the 2-man side, and the rest of the players, they're just there to capture the kills, and those kills become free. So, I mean, there's a lot of diversity that you can show, but certainly this is pure skill. Thornmai with a sniper rifle getting down Siam Wow, and things can actually get pretty heated up. Clips trying to rush in. Thornmai with the MP5, not really connecting those shots. Kingsman was the one who took him down at the moment. Both the teams suffering a knock individually, and it is for us to find out what happens next.
It is to find out what happens next, but we will, because Mehdi is going to get taken down even though he got one knock. But is he going to survive? I don't think so. A lot of bullets flying around him, but Maruf is going to go down. He's going to come down to Romjan, who needs to bring it back for his team. But is he going to survive? Is he going to take the boat across the shore? But Eclipse, they're going to get eliminated. And now it all comes down to Rage trying to rush in. Are they going to go for the kill? Yes, indeed they are. Look at that, though. Sabir is going to find a frag for himself. And that's just as easy as it gets. Just as easy as it gets.
I mean, this team Rage, they just waited for the entire fight to stop. They waited for the right time to press the kill switch. And when exactly they knew that the other team, they are going to be caught off guard, Team Rage just rushed in. Sabir was out there on his toes. He was so ready for taking the fight. He got the kill, deservedly so. But then we have Team Swag nearby. This is a team that really showed us potential of what aggressive Free Fire can be like. They do have a lot of flair in them. Not quite sure why didn't he pick up the grenade launcher. I guess it's going to be for someone else. But in the final circle, Mamba, I guess the grenade launcher can do a lot of heavy lifting.
Yep, it can definitely do a lot of heavy lifting. That is true. But talking about Swag, the way they've played, it's been quite conservative. They're not being out of the way. They're not going out of the way to pick a fight, and that's good. But at the same time, you also have to back yourself when you have these chances, because sometimes you got to convert a half chance into a full, and then get those openings for your team.
I mean, it's really important. Once you convert those chances, your confidence of the team is going to be on a really, really big high. And that is going to just boost you up to a position where you can even get a booyah. I don't know, from a position which where you shouldn't have. So I mean, it is really important for you to back yourself up, and I completely agree with you on that part. But I guess it is really important for you to be realistic as well. Team Swag, they probably had no profit trying to take that fight against Team Ray, so they just waited it out. Elsewhere on the map, we have Team Mask Boys, who is going up against Team Cyanide Bilal, trying to throw in the grenade. That grenade might actually be lethal because the grenade, the glue walls, I mean, it was lethal. It took down 2 players, and certainly Bilal is just going to rush and take another one down. I guess he'll get 3 kills from this particular fight. 3 kills coming in from Bilal himself. Was it a quad kill? I'm not quite sure. I don't think it was a quad kill. Was it a quad kill, Mamba?
Well, I'm not quite sure either, because it's difficult to keep a track of all the kills happening in the matchup, especially when they're happening at such a fast pace. And that's the reason why I like early game fights, so that we can chill out a little towards the end as well. But no, that's actually not true. I like the intent when teams know what they have to do and they go out and execute it. But right now we have 7 teams and 24 players, and trust me, I've seen matches on this very map and in the 4th zone. Would you imagine 48 players being eliminated in the 4th zone?
I mean, I haven't seen that.
So
I have.
Yeah, that's the point, right? Teams can play as aggressive as they want. It's just that, are they going to do it today or not?
I agree with you on one part though. I mean, Command Post is probably the dead center of the biggest graveyard in the world. I'm not quite sure if the biggest cemetery in the world is placed in Command Post, but certainly in Free Fire, the biggest cemetery is going to be in Command Post, because a lot of deaths, a lot of bodies fall in this region. Riot Maru falling to extreme, and right now LMC find themselves in a very good position. And this is one of the highly talked things. They have the high ground. Certainly, in this particular situation, it is certainly an advantage for Team Riot, because for Team Riot, they don't have covers to work with. Team LMC, they can easily play around these ridges. They have the sandbags to work with. They have the stone covers to work with as well, and they can easily play around with Team Riot. At the moment, I'm not quite sure whether the players are still taking cover from Team Riot, but they probably will try and fall back from this fight, because otherwise they will get extinguished in no time. Elsewhere, we have Team Electro Seth, who is trying to shut down Gibbon from Team Mask Boys, but being in the sniper tower is another thing which is really talked about. A single grenade can actually wipe you out of the game, but this position, it can be pretty useful when you have no cover around you. And if you find a sniper tower for yourself and hurling up there, it can be pretty beneficial if you can actually take down teams who are trying to chase you down. But eventually, if you are unable to do that and teams end up close to you, you might get taken down in a flash.
That is, you might get taken down in a flash, and that's not going to be a good way to go. Sure, it's going to be quick, but ooh, Jabon's nade getting 2 knocks for himself, and Sorry as well. Just going in, using that nade launcher, getting 1 more frag for him. So the utility usage has definitely been improving in the FFBC. We've seen a lot more kills come in, and I'd love to see if we could actually pull up a stat, maybe in the finals, in the grand finals, where how many players got kills with nades, or in the finals at least, because the way these guys have been playing is nuts.
Absolutely. I mean, the grenades have really been singing the songs of death, to be honest, even more than the guns. Especially in circles like these, especially in the 4th and the 5th circles, the grenades, as well as the grenade launchers, they just really pop out of the shells. And I'm not quite sure the stocks, they get empty really soon. But nonetheless, this is going to be Team LMC. They find themselves in a weird spot. The circle is pretty far away from them. They don't really have any sort of cover to play with. They have Team Electro, who is gatekeeping in the sniper tower, who is equally in a very bad spot. I guess Team LMC, they're just waiting out for Team Electro to make a move, and there you go. I guess Godwin takes one particular player down from Team Swag. Solid9 is down as well. Shuvo will be confirmed. Skyshoot is the one who confirmed that kill for himself. Team LMC going up close and personal against Team Electro. TMZ is going to be the one who will take him down. Skyshoot is the only one, or rather the second player from Team LMC who's still standing, but I guess Team Swag it is who will confirm the entirety of Team LMC. And there you go. Team Riot, though, they're still standing strong on their feet. They still have 3 players to work with, and they have the entire circle under their command. We just completely whipped out 4 or 5 teams in a flash, Mamba. Just have a look at the stat. 3 teams left and 8 players alive. Just a moment ago, we had more than 20 players to work with, and now we have a single-digit number.
Bro, I blinked and there were like 8 players left. I'm not sure what to do. I've missed on a lot of action. If you ask me a question, I'm not going to have an answer. Well, that actually rhymed. That actually rhymed. But I'm no poet. I'm no writer. I wish, though, I took arts. I do love philosophy. So there's that. I can talk about it all day, all night. And I can maybe draw a couple of parallels, but a cooked nade is going to go in, but that's not going to do a lot of damage. And talk about Riot, right? They might actually get a booyah once again over here because they're in a good position. They have 3 kills, 3 players surviving as well. But INF, one of the players being up top in the house, but Riot is in a really good position with a lot of cover to work with. Salty.
Yeah, absolutely. I guess this is going to be a proper 4v3 fight. Team Rage, they have 10 kills to work with, Mamba, and all the 4 players are still alive. Amin takes Shovo down at the moment, and this turns into a 2v4. Amin will try and rush in. He knows exactly where one player is. Anaf is out there. He does not have a weapon to work with, but the weapon comes in help. Sabir gets taken down. Anaf, he has a grenade launcher, but this is certainly not an ideal moment to use that. Certainly, Team Riot are making use of what they have. Alvi gets taken down. Riot get eliminated as Team Rage. They rush in onto the circle and take Riot down in a flash. This team had 10 kills even before the fight started. They rushed in onto the final circle and they completely extinguished them. I just loved it. It was sweet.
It was sweet for sure because, hey man, as long as you're getting that booyah, it's always going to taste sweet. Victory, sweet. Defeat, bitter. No doubt about that. But it was quite a fast-paced matchup, trust me. Because out of all the matches I've seen, I think this was the one with the most consistent tempo. It wasn't like, early game fight, mid game was slow, and then the end game was fast again. No. The entire match went on at the same tempo. There were players being eliminated every minute, every second, and there was something or the other going on. And look at this nade, though. This was something that the other player also did not see coming, and that knocked out Baby Girl and finished the other player as well. So that was quite unfortunate, but the backup, the cavalry arrived. He used a Chrono Shield to revive his teammate, but Da Cruz from GB2L, he suffered a lot over there.
He absolutely suffered a lot. Team Rage, they kind of were in the right end of things the entirety of this particular fight. Just have a look at it. Godwin as well as Superman, they just rush and take 2 players down as well as the other reinforcements come in. The final player, who was, I believe, Skylib, he was taken down in a flash. Okay, it was Alpha. Nonetheless, I mean, they were taken down in a flash, certainly. Mask Boys, they eliminate Team XP in a very, very tragic fashion, certainly. A Baby Girl was trying to survive, but they get taken down in the 10th position. Team XP, though, talking about their performance in the entirety of the tournament, they haven't really showed up something special. And if they don't really come up, don't really step up in the final week or the final day of week 2, I guess this team, they're really going to suffer, especially in the play-ins when it's just dark and thundering clouds everywhere, with all the groups, all the teams trying to fight it out for a spot in the grand finals. Nonetheless, this fight was something interesting as well. Team Eclipse got completely dominated by Team Infinity, but then this is going to be Team Rage. They just come in, Sabir walks in, takes Hunter down, and completely wipes him out of the server. One player, Nobin, he still survives, Mamba, and I guess that was the player who just made his way inside the top 3. But this grenade was so sweet. It was a perfectly cooked grenade. He got the 3rd kill for himself as well, and I guess Bilal was the one who might have got the 4th kill as well. I'm not quite sure of it, but even then it doesn't matter. The grenade was as good as it gets.
That's true. The nade was as good as it gets, and that was important as well because you got to go there and get these kills, because if it doesn't work out, what else can you do? And the timing on that was perfect because there was so much chaos around the players, right? They did not even notice a nade actually sneaking in. So that was well thought out, well timed, and all in all, just a very good play. And more often than not, I do say that, hey, I like action, but you know what I like more is players outsmarting their opposition. There's nothing more satisfying than watching that.
Absolutely. 2 players trying to rush in, and the 3rd player just cooking a grenade, taking his sweet time in the world and executing it to perfection. That was exactly what he did out there with this team, Team Rage, the way they rushed in on Team Riot. I hope you remember the fact that Team Rage, they come in from outside the circle. Team Riot, they had the entire circle to play with. Anna did try and do a lot of heavy lifting for his team, took down Sabir, but that was as far as he could go because the other players, they just rushed in to save Sabir as well as take the entirety of players down. Anna trying to run in towards safety, but he couldn't really do that because the covers, they were really not there. All he had to do was run in a maze of 2 walls, but as he tried to do it, Team Rage, they completely outnumbered him from all directions and took him down. That was, as I said, it was sweet.
That was sweet for sure. That was sweet. And outnumbering your opposition, there's a reason why I keep on raving about the man advantage. As long as you have a lot of players alive, it works out. And you don't want to lose players early on in the game unless you actually have a good number of kills as well. And if that does not happen, you suffer at the end. And that is something we saw over here as well. Again, being outnumbered, not a funny way to go. And it just feels bad because at the end of the day, if you're being outnumbered, it's just brute force. It's not good play. It's just brute forcing your way through.
Absolutely. I mean, Yeah, sure. Staying alive with 4 plays inside the final circle, it's a blessing in disguise. You've been blessed by God. Just all right, go for the booyah. But I mean, Team Riot, they did good, to be honest. The kind of position they were in, it was kind of really good for them to still go in the final circle and dominate the way they did before. Because we remember a fact that they were kind of caught out in the open, but still they managed to get themselves a second spot. The map recap, though, I mean, this gives the right idea. The victories are all over the place, Mama. We don't really see a single team dominating today. We see all the teams showing the different colors, and every map has been different from its I don't know, contemporaries.
Well, every match today had different outcome, and I like it. It's keeping the competition alive. It's not becoming a one-sided affair, which we get to see more often than not, Salty. But
Yeah.
for now, every team going out, they're performing to the best of their abilities. I think that's great because 6 teams out of 12 actually managed to get a booyah, which goes on to prove that all of these teams are more than capable of coming out here and playing in this tournament. And that's important. That's
Yeah.
important to give yourself some confidence. That's important to also keep the tournament alive because once we figure out, hey, no, this is the team that's going to win, sure, it's entertaining to watch. But then there's the other side. The matches are not as close, and that excitement, which keeps you on the edge of your seat, that fades away.
I mean, that is definitely true. I kind of talked about how the skill ceiling was really high from some of the teams, but it was not really the case for all of the teams. But I guess I have to eat back my words in week 2 of this tournament because the teams have really improved. They've evolved themselves to become a better outfit as a whole, and I guess that is visible in the way they are playing the games right now. Moving forward, I guess when week 3 comes in, these teams they're going to evolve even more, and the competition for the direct slot to the grand finals is going to heat up even more. To be honest, even though consistency does play a role, it's not just getting a booyah is going to give you everything. But I mean, for a fact, a lot of teams have been more consistent than not, and I kind of love it. Team Infinity, Team Electro, Team Riot, Team Rage, they've really been showing up. They've been really showing up. And I kind of love the fact that all these teams from all of the groups, they are playing at the same level. They are playing at a really, really good level for a fact.
Yep. But if we look at the final standings, we have Infinity on top with 72 points. And before we talk about all the other teams, look at Team Swag. 1 booyah, but they're still on position number 9. And that is the epitome of inconsistency because, hey, man, a booyah will definitely push you up. But after that, you actually need to work hard as well because look at the amount of placement points they have. 12 placement points are from 1 match, and then the rest of 11 points are coming in from 5 matches. So that's not really good, is it?
I mean, yeah, that is one real bad thing about taking early fights. I guess this team probably was on the receiving end of most of those bullets coming in on the early games as well. 37 total points, not really something to show off. Team Infinity, though, look at that. 72 points, but Team Rage, a team that I was talking about, was not really continuing their gameplay from week 1. Completely overturned situations midway through today. I mean, I saw Team Rage, they were reeling at around 6th position in terms of the points table. But as soon as the 3rd game was over, Team Rage, they switched gears and now they are competing against the top team, just 1 point behind them. And certainly, I guess Team Rage, they're top of their group, so they definitely will take 20 points home. And that is something which is to be very proud about. Team Riot, though, they have 1 booyah to work with. I guess they have a lot of kills, 26 kills to show off. But I kind of thought that Riot will be coming out on the right end of things. I guess at least in the top 3, but that is not really the case. I guess consistency has really hit a lot of these teams, especially B26 Mystics as well, because you see a lot of these teams, Mamba, B26 Mystics, LMC, Riot, these teams, we see them perform, all right? We see them perform really, really well in every other game. But I guess even that is not enough. Performing every other game is probably not enough to find a place in the top 3. I guess you have to perform every game if you really want to find yourself a spot in the top 3.
Perform every game, that is for sure, because consistency is the key to success. And if you're not consistent in your performances, you're going to see what happened to Swag over here because, again, 1 booyah, sure, that's a massive push, but they're still standing on position number 9, Salty. So you're going to be consistent for sure. You got to work hard and you're going to make sure that even if you don't get that booyah, you are still in the top 5 or the top 3 every single game possible.
Absolutely. And for that, I guess avoiding the early fights is really important. We saw yesterday how methodical each and every one of those matches were, where teams, they really studied their opponents and went to locations where there was no one else. Today, though, we got to see a lot of early fights, and that resulted in a lot of teams being washed out in the very early stage of the game. And that is something which you don't really want. Team Cyanide, they were on the receiving end of those most of the times. Eclipse, TRB, they were same. Team XP is where we saw them getting taken down in I don't know, really sad sort of fashions. Swag as well. GB2L Esports, we saw them fight early so many times, and that is something which you don't really want. Team Infinity, I mean, this is a team that has really, really mastered the art of waiting things out. I guess this is a team that really tries to time its aggression to perfection, because they don't really take fights early on in the game. At least I've not seen them take early fights. Team Rage as well. Even though they engage in those fights, they are wise enough. They're quick to kind of understand the situation if it goes away from them, and they just fall back. And that has really worked in for them to get those 40 placement points that they have, as well as the 31 kill points. 31 kill points, mama. That is kind of extreme.
That's a lot of kill points. That is true. Team Rage showing us why the name is Team Rage and going out there and getting all those kill points for themselves. And that's the reason why they're only a point behind Team Infinity. Otherwise, they will actually be in the table toppers, even though they are lagging by 9 placement points with regards to the first team, if we compare them to the first team. So you got to maintain a very fine balance. If you get good kills, you're going to get a good position. And once again, even though it's a new point format, I still remember back in the day, you used to get 20 points for a booyah.
Yeah.
2 points for a kill. Sure. But the way it's been balanced out, the numbers are smaller, but it's more or less the same.
Yeah, I mean, it's not same, to be honest, because initially you were being rewarded for either passive play or for aggressive play. You're being rewarded for either of those two. But now you have to have a balanced.
I think the only one thing that I would disagree with over here is the fact that it actually so back in the day, if you played aggressive, there was an incentive to play aggressive, because you could get 10 kills and 20 points. But over here, if you get 10 kills, you only get 10 points, not 12.
That is exactly what I'm talking about, right? Initially, you are being rewarded for being passive as well as for being aggressive, right? You might get eliminated at the 10th spot, but you might have 10 kills. You have 20 points to work with, and that is fine. But here, you have to be both aggressive, get a few kills on board, at least 5 or 6, as well as get good placement points. So it's like a combination of both. You have to combine both those departments, both those elements, and find yourself on the right spot of the placement points. I mean, I and Grips had a really elaborate conversation regarding this, and we both came into the same conclusion that the only change that happened is the fact that teams have to be perfect in either of those departments, and you can't just play either passive and get 20 placement points from the booyah or 20 kill points from kills itself.
Yep. But talking about the tournament format, once again, just walking our viewers through it, the tournament started with an open FFC mode qualifier where anyone could participate. The top 48 teams advanced to the close qualifiers, and then from there, the top 18 teams went on to play in the league season, which is going on right now. And now the top 6 teams, 2 from each group, 2 from each of the 3 groups, will move on to the grand finals. The bottom 12 will again battle it out in the grand final planes, and 6 more teams from there will go to the grand finals, where we will have 12 teams playing against each other. So, it's a grueling format, and I love it. I love the fact that players have to be consistent. But Solly, why don't you walk us through the league point conversion?
Absolutely. So the league point works in a way where you have to battle against teams from your own group. Imagine you are from group A, and you are the first position team in terms of your own group. You get 20 league points, irrespective of the fact if you have 50 points from the entire day's play or if you have 100 points. That doesn't matter, because it eventually is going to get converted to 20 league points because of your position with respect to other teams from your own group. Just have a look at team group B1 though. They come in from group B, but they are third on terms of the entire points table, but they are ahead of all the teams from their own group. So definitely that just goes to show that they are better against the teams from their own group, and that is the reason why they're going to get 20 points as well. So the way league point conversion works is that you don't have to fight against teams from the other groups. You just battle out against teams from your own group, and if you come out on the top, if you come out on the right end of it, you get a lot of points for that. and all the points that you get from the matches that you play every day, it's going to get converted, and this is what you're going to come down to: the league standings. Group A, Group B, Group C. Only the top two teams from every group is going to qualify to the finals directly. All the rest 12 teams, they're going to battle it out in the play-ins. Just have a look, Mamba. Right with 61 points, Mystics with 58 points, Rage with 58 points, and Swag with 51 points. I can't express myself how heated up the battle is in Group C. This is as good as it can get.
That is true. This is as good as it gets. This is as close as it gets. And we're still having one more day tomorrow. And this is still the second week. You talk about the next week, we're still going to have a lot more action. And the way these teams are playing, it's incredible to see that they've been able to keep that composure. But if you talk about Group C, they've played 4 matches all in all. So they're down for this week. Tomorrow, we're going to see Group A and B battle out, and we'll see which are the 2 teams which remain in the top 2, and who are the ones who will have to battle out in the the grand final play-ins. Because that, again, imagine this: you're fighting it out against most of the teams in the country. Top 48 teams come in, then 18 teams go to a league stage, and then once again you're fighting it out with 12 of the best of the best of the best teams, which have been filtered multiple times, and then you go out to be crowned the champion. And that requires consistency. You can't just, become FFPC champions by a fluke.
I mean, Bangladesh, I kind of searched it out. Bangladesh has a population of around 16 crore. The 4 players who are going to get the title of Bangladeshi champs, they have to have something in them. Talking about the social media handles, Free Fire Bangladesh Official is going to be your destination on either Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, as well as TikTok. All of these places, you will be updated with more events upcoming. I mean, you can follow Mamba Senior as well. Certainly, he has a pretty big Instagram. I mean, Mamba will definitely not talk about me, but nonetheless, I guess you can follow me.
The only reason why he plugged me was so that he could plug himself. But of course, you can probably find Salty on TikTok as well. So just look it up, and maybe you'll find his profile. But ladies and gentlemen, a lot of action happened today. It was a lot of fun. Salty, what are you going to say to the audience about this tournament? Because we're going to come back tomorrow as well. We're going to have a lot of action. And if I'm not mistaken, we have an interview as well.
We have an interview, I guess. To give away to the audience, we have probably a redeem code as well, because that is something which we always give them out. It is our ritual of giving back to the audience, the viewers who join in. It will be coming on your screen pretty shortly, I guess. But as of now, yeah, it is. It is there. It is still going to be valid midnight today. So if you want to get the skin for yourself, go to reward.ffgod.garena.com and grab it for yourself. Because as I said, you want to get those skins collected. Doesn't really matter if you're a pro player or not. Because we know for a fact, if you get the skin, it increases the damage by 2x and your accuracy by 5 times. Skins are not skins, they're skills. It is a hidden tactic that is not being told openly to the world, but I know for a fact it is a secret. And trust me.
He's lying, guys. It's all about your thumbs. As long as your thumbs are doing okay, you're gonna, Yeah, thumbs. When you play with 2 fingers, as long as you can pop headshots with those, I think you're good to go, man. Here's the funniest thing. I practically don't own any skins in Free Fire. I still don't. I've spent a year casting Free Fire tournaments. I've done over 30 Free Fire tournaments, and I still don't own any permanent skins. But we're going to talk about this. Because see, Salt and I, we can go on and on about our own and our own lives. But right now, we're going to head to the interview, and Salt and I will see you guys tomorrow.
লাস্টে টিম পেছে চলে আসবে। লাস্টের দিকে নিয়ে নাইবে ধরে এলিমিনেট ক্যামেরা যেটা লক হয়ে গেছে এমজিআর যে টিম পেছে চলে আসবে। এমজিআর যে টিম পেছে চলে আসবে এবং লাস্টের দিকে নিয়ে নাইবে ধরে এলিমিনেট ক্যামেরা যেটা কিন্তু ফাইট দিতে
এখানে কিন্তু একেবারে
সাইড গেমার গেমিং এবং লাস্টের দিকে গেমিং উইথ নাইমে ধরে এলিমিনেট ক্যামেরা যেটা লক হয়ে গেছে এমজিআর যে টিম পেছে চলে আসবে এবং লাস্টের দিকে নিয়ে ক্যামেরা যেটা কিন্তু ফাইট দিতে এবং লাস্টের দিকে নিয়ে নাইবে ধরে এলিমিনেট ক্যামেরা যেটা লক হয়ে গেছে এমজিআর যে টিম পেছে চলে আসবে
ও হ্যালো গাইস, ওয়েলকাম ব্যাক। আমরা কিন্তু সারপ্রাইজ নিয়ে চলে এসেছি আজকের আমাদের সাথে কিন্তু ইন্টারভিউতে আছে রায়োট টিমের শুভ এবং রায়োট আলভি। সো ওয়েলকাম গাইস, ওয়েলকাম টু আস। সো যাই
আজকে
হোক,
আজকে কিন্তু আমাদের সাথে যারা যারা ভালো গেছে, সো দুজন বেস্ট প্লেয়ার আসছে। সো যারা নিজেদের স্কোয়াড মেম্বাররা যারা ছিল রাইট স্কোয়াডের দুজন বেস্ট প্লেয়ার আসছে এখানের মধ্যে। সো বাকি দুজন হয়তো নেক্সট টাইম আসবে। এখন আমরা যেটা খেয়াল করতেছি তারা কিন্তু প্রিভিয়াস ম্যাচগুলোতে কিন্তু তারা ডমিনেট করছে, সো ভালো পারফরমেন্স শো করছে। এবং আজকে কিন্তু তাদের সাথে আমাদের ইন্টারভিউ সেকশনে কিন্তু আমরা কয়েকটা তাদের কোয়েশ্চেন করবো। সো দেখা যাক
Yeah.
তারা কি বলে তাদের সম্পর্কে, তাদের পার্সোনাল স্কিল সম্পর্কে, তারা কিভাবে নিজেদের টিম ওয়ার্ক করতেছে এবং এগুলো সম্পর্কে কিন্তু আজকে আমরা জিজ্ঞেস করবো।
সো শুভ ভাই, আলভি ভাই, কেমন আছেন আপনারা?
এই তো ভাই আলহামদুলিল্লাহ ভালো। আপনারা কেমন আছেন?
আলহামদুলিল্লাহ আমিও ভালো আছি।
জি আলহামদুলিল্লাহ আমরা ভালো আছি। আজকে তো অনেকগুলো ম্যাচ খেললেন এবং আপনারা আজকে একটা বুয়া নিয়েছেন, একটা ম্যাচে সেকেন্ড হয়েছেন, কিলও অনেক করেছেন। সো ভেরি গুড ডে। এবং একটা কথা না বললে না, আপনারা কিন্তু উইক 1-এ কিন্তু একটা ম্যাচে 4-4টা বুয়া নিয়েছিলেন। সো সেটা কিন্তু ওয়ান অফ দ্য রেকর্ডস ইন বাংলাদেশ। সবাই কিন্তু সেটা নিয়ে কথা বলতেছে, এজেন্ট স্কোয়াড, এবং আপনারা কিন্তু 4-4টা বুয়া নিয়েছেন। 8টা বুয়া কিন্তু আপনাদের 2টা স্কোয়াডের নিজেদের খাতায়। সো এটা বিষয়ে আসলে আমরা আপনার সাথে কথা বলবো অবশ্যই। সো আশা করি আপনারা সবাই ভালো আছেন।
জি অবশ্যই।
অবশ্যই। সো আপনাদের এফএফবিসি এই টুর্নামেন্টটা সম্পর্কে আসলে আপনাদের কেমন লাগছে? আপনাদের জার্নিটা একটু জানাবেন। সেই ১ম থেকে এখনো পর্যন্ত যে আপনারা যে বুইয়া নিয়েছেন এতগুলা, টোটাল আপনাদের থুলিতে বোধহয় ৭টা থেকে ৮টা বুইয়া আছে অলরেডি, বা ৬টা ৭টা বুইয়া আছে। সো এত দূর
জি।
পর্যন্ত এসেছেন, এই জার্নিটা সম্পর্কে একটু জানতে চাই আপনাদের কাছে।
আমাদের এই এফএফবিসির জার্নি ক্ষেত্রে বলতে পারবো যে এটা বাংলাদেশে ফার্স্ট টাইম অনেক বড় একটা টুর্নামেন্ট। তো এখানে আমরা প্রথমত খেলার চান্স পাইছি, কোয়ালিফাই করে টপ 18 টিম থেকে আবার টপ 48 টিম থেকে টপ 18 টিমে আসছি, আবার এখন আমরা লিগ খেলতেছি। তো এত বড় একটা টুর্নামেন্ট বাংলাদেশে ফার্স্ট টাইম, তো এটা খেলতে পারে অনেক ভালো লাগতেছে। কোয়ালিফাই করে এত দূর আসছি, এটা একটা গর্বের বিষয় আমাদের জন্য।
এবং এতদূর এসে কিন্তু আপনারা আপনাদের যেই অ্যাগ্রেশন, যে ক্যালিবারটা শো করতেছেন, সেটাও এক্সট্রাঅর্ডিনারি। বুচার, কি বলেন?
জি
হ্যাঁ
জি,
অবশ্যই। আসলে
এটাও
আমি আপনাদেরকে
আমাদের জন্য আসলে
এসে নয়, এতটুকু আসার পিছনেও আমাদের ছিল অনেক পরিশ্রম, অনেক ছিল সময়। আমরা 4 জন মিলে গেমে যে পরিমাণ সময় দিয়েছি তা একবারে না বললেই নয়। আমরা 4 জন মিলে ট্রাই করেছি যে আমাদের নিজেদের ভিতরে কোথাও উইক পয়েন্ট সেটা বের করা এবং তা নিয়ে কাজ করা। এজন্য আমরা আজ এতটুকু এসে পেরেছি।
অবশ্যই। সো আমি আসলে জানতে চাচ্ছিলাম যে আপনাদের স্টার্টিংটা কিভাবে হয়? মানে আপনারা ফ্রি ফায়ারটা স্টার্ট করেন কিভাবে এবং আপনাদের স্কোয়াডটা স্টার্ট হয় কিভাবে? এই যে রাইট স্কোয়াডটা আসছে আজকে, এতদিন পরে আমরা যেটা দেখতেছি আপনাদের ফাইনাল পারফরম্যান্স যেগুলো দেখতেছি, এখানের মধ্যে আসলে আপনাদের স্টার্টিংটা কিভাবে হয়? আপনাদের স্কোয়াডটা কখন স্টার্ট হয়? মানে স্কোয়াডের পথ চলাটা
আমাদের
কখন থেকে শুরু হয়?
আমাদের স্কোয়াডটা অনেকদিনই হয়ে গেছে, প্রায় যদি বলি তাহলে 1.5-2 বছরের মতো হয়ে গেছে। তো আমাদের স্কোয়াডে প্রথমে হয়তো এই এখন যারা আছি তারা হয়তো ছিল না। এখন পুরাতন মেম্বার যদি বলেন, আমার স্কোয়াডে আমি আনা পুরাতন হিসাবে আছি, আর আলভি কিছুদিন পরে আসছে, এবং আমাদের আরেকটা প্লেয়ার মারুফ, সে আরো কিছুদিন পরে আসছে। তো এইভাবেই আমাদের শুরু। তো প্রথমে যেভাবে আমাদের অন্যান্য মেম্বাররা ছিল, ঠিক আছে, বিভিন্ন সময় বিভিন্ন মেম্বাররা ছিল, তো ওভাবেই আমরা ইভলভ করে করে আসছি। তো আমাদের ফাইনালে এখন যে অবস্থাটা আছে আমাদের স্কোয়াড, এইভাবে আমরা অনেক দিন যাবত আছি। তো ওইভাবে আমাদের বন্ডিংটাও ক্রিয়েট হয়েছে, আমাদের গেম প্লেটাও ওইভাবে ম্যাচ করে কম্বিনেশন করে ক্রিয়েট হয়েছে। তো এইভাবে আমরা আগে আসতেছি।
এবং আমি যদি আপনাদেরকে বলি যে প্রিভিয়াস ম্যাচে যে খেলাটা খেলছেন আপনারা, সেখানের মধ্যে আপনাদের 2 ম্যাচ আগে যে কথাটা বলবো, ব্রাজিলিয়াতে যে ম্যাচটা হয়েছে, সেখানের মধ্যে আমি যদি বলি রায়োট আলভি, আপনি যে পরিমাণে ব্যাক আউট দিচ্ছিলেন সেখানের মধ্যে কিন্তু আপনার তখন কি পরিমাণে কি মনে হচ্ছিল তখন? আপনি কি সার্ভাইভ করতে পারবেন কিনা? যখন আপনার সামনে ইলেকট্রোর একটা ফুল স্কোয়াড ছিল এবং আপনাকে কন্টিনিউয়াসলি করতেছিল, তখন আপনার কেমন লাগতেছিল? বাট আপনার স্কোয়াড মেম্বাররা কিন্তু আশেপাশে ছিল না কেউই। তখন কেমন ছিল?
আমার কাছে যেটা তখন ছিল যে আমি প্রথম যে প্লেয়ারটা আমার কাছে রাশ করছিল, তা আমার প্রথম টার্গেট ছিল যে আমি ওকে এনিহাউ নক করে দিব। দেন সেকেন্ডলি আমার টার্গেট ছিল আমি যদি ওকে নক করতে পারি, দেন আমার কাছে নাম্বার অফ 3 গ্লোয়ালস ছিল, সো আমি ওখান থেকে বের হয়ে আসতে পারবো। আমার ওই কনফিডেন্স ছিল। ইভেন আমার এটাও কনফিডেন্স ছিল হয়তো আমি ওদেরকে বিট করে দিতে পারবো। কিন্তু যখন দেখতে পাচ্ছি যে না, ওদের ফায়ার পাওয়ারটা বেড়ে গেছে, তখন ব্যাক আউটটা করতে ট্রাই করেছি, বাট ব্যাড লাকলি আমি ওখানে স্টার্ট হয়ে গেছি। আমি বের হয়ে
আসলে
আসতে
আসলে
পারিনি।
কিছুই করার থাকে না। 1v3
কিছুই করার
সিচুয়েশনে
ছিল না।
আসলে
যখন
কিছুই করার থাকে না।
যখন 4টা প্লেয়ার একসাথে,
হ্যাঁ,
যাদের ভালো টিম, যখন 4টা প্লেয়ার একসাথে আপনাকে ফায়ার পাওয়ার দিচ্ছে, তখন আপনি ব্যাক আউট করতে হয়তো বা একটু প্রবলেম ফেস করতে পারেন।
সেটাই। জি।
তো শুভ
মাসুদ
ভাই,
ভাই।
আপনার কাছে একটা কোশ্চেন আছে, সেটা হচ্ছে যে আপনারা তো এখনো পর্যন্ত ওয়ান অফ দ্য মোস্ট ডমিনেটিং টিম বলতে গেলে এফএফবিসির মধ্যে। আপনারা একটা ম্যাচে 4টা বুয়া নিয়েছেন, গতকালও বোধহয় আপনারা বুয়া নিয়েছেন, আজকে বুয়া নিয়েছেন। সো আপনাদের ঝুলিতে অনেকগুলা বুয়া, অনেকগুলা কিল। সো আপনারা যে এতদূর পর্যন্ত এসেছেন, এতটুকু ডমিনেটিং পারফরমেন্স দিয়েছেন, আপনাদের কাছে আপনাদের মোস্ট ডমিনেটিং কম্পিটিটর কাদেরকে লেগেছে? কাদের সাথে আপনাদের মনে হচ্ছে যে না, দে আর আওয়ার বেস্ট কম্পিটিটর, এদের সাথে আমাদের কম্পিটিশনটা হচ্ছে?
আচ্ছা, সেই ক্ষেত্রে বলতে পারি যে আমাদের সব কোনো টিমে এখানে কম না, সব টিমই ভালো খেলে। তো আমাদের কাছে আমরা যেটাকে কম্পিটিশন হিসাবে নেই বা আমাদের স্কোয়াডের স্টাইল হিসাবে বা আমাদের মেন্টালিটি হিসাবে আমরা যেটাকে ডোমিনেটিং হিসাবে নেই বা কম্পিটিটিভ হিসাবে নেই, যে সেটা হচ্ছে আমাদের নিজেদের পারফরমেন্স। আমরা মনে করেন প্রথম ম্যাচে আমরা যা খেললাম সেটাকে আমরা পরের ম্যাচে সেই পারফরমেন্সটাকে আমাদের বিট করতে হবে। সো এইভাবে আমরা ভালোর দিকে আগায় যাব। তো এটাই আমরা নিজেদের পারফরমেন্সকে নিজেরা কম্পিট করে নেক্সট দিকে আগায় যাওয়ার চেষ্টা করি।
ওয়াও! ভেরি ওয়েল অ্যানসার্ড, ভেরি ওয়েল অ্যানসার্ড। সো আসলে খুব ভালো লাগলো। আরেকটা কোয়েশ্চেন আপনাদের কাছে আছে। এই যে এফএফবিসি একটা ফ্রি ফায়ার বাংলাদেশ চ্যাম্পিয়নশিপ 2021 এত বড় একটা টুর্নামেন্ট আমাদের বাংলাদেশীদের জন্য গ্যারিনা অ্যারেঞ্জ করলো। তো এই ব্যাপারে আপনাদের একটু অনুভূতি জানতে চাচ্ছিলাম যে এত বড় স্টেজ আমাদের জন্য ক্রিয়েট করে দিল। আপনারা এত বড় স্টেজে আপনাদেরকে দেখাতে পারছেন। হাজার, হাজার মানুষ, লাখ, লাখ মানুষ আপনাদেরকে দেখতেছে। আপনাদেরকে অনেক আগে থেকেই চিনে সবাই, কিন্তু তারপরেও এইরকম স্টেজে আপনারা পারফরম্যান্স করতেছেন, এরকম একটা স্টেজ গ্যারিনা আপনাদেরকে দিল। এই বিষয়ে আপনাদের একটু কথা অনুভূতি জানতে চাচ্ছিলাম।
এই
আসলে
বিষয়ে
বলতে গেলে এই ধরনের স্টেজে আমাদের অনুভূতিটা অনেক অসাধারণ। কারণ এত বড় একটা স্টেজে প্ল্যাটফর্মে বাংলাদেশে এই যখন আসছি স্পোর্টস, আমাদের সবারই টার্গেট ছিল যে স্পোর্টস এ একটা ভালো কিছু করা। তো আমরা যখন এতটুকু পর্যন্ত আসতে পেরেছি এবং পারফর্ম করে যাচ্ছি, আমাদের যেটা ফ্যান বেস আছে তারা আমাদের দেখে ইন্সপায়ার্ড হচ্ছে যে আমরা হয়তোবা ভবিষ্যতে রাইটের মতো একসময় খেলবো। তারা আমাদের স্ট্র্যাটেজি ফলো করছে, আমাদের রুট ফলো করছে, আমাদের এভরি স্টাইল ফলো করছে, যাতে আমাদের মতো তারা ভবিষ্যতে একটা পারফরমেন্স করতে পারে এমন একটা স্টেজে। তো সেই হিসেবে আমাদের একটি অসাধারণ অনুভূতি।
থ্যাংক ইউ, ভেরি ওয়েল অ্যানসার্ড।
আমি যদি একটা পার্সোনালি আমি যদি রাইট শুভ আপনার কাছে যদি আমি একটা কোশ্চেন জিজ্ঞেস করি, সেটা হচ্ছে আপনাদের রোল প্লেয়ার আপনারা কিভাবে সিলেক্ট করেন? আপনারা যখন টুর্নামেন্ট খেলতেছেন, মানে আই মিন যখন এইসব প্রফেশনাল লেভেলের স্পোর্টস টুর্নামেন্টগুলো খেলতেছেন, তখন আপনাদের রোল প্লেটা কিভাবে সিলেক্ট করেন? কে কোন রোল প্লে করবেন, কে ওভারওয়াচে থাকবেন, কে লং এ থেকে ফাইট দিবেন, কে শর্ট এ ফাইট দিবেন, এটা কি আপনাদের আগে থেকে সিলেক্ট করা থাকে না আপনারা ইনস্ট্যান্ট সিলেক্ট করেন?
এটা আমাদের আগে থেকেই সিলেক্ট করা থাকে, কিন্তু হচ্ছে বিশেষ ক্ষেত্রে সাপোজ আমাদের কেউ কেউ প্লেয়ার কেউ সামনে থাকবে, কারো কাজ হবে অ্যাটাকিং করা, কারো কাজ হবে অপোনেন্টকে বোঝা, কারো কাজ হবে ব্যাকআপ করা। তো এই ক্ষেত্রে যদি আমাদের 4জন প্লেয়ার বাই চান্স যদি উল্টা সাইড হয়ে যায়, তখন আমরা হচ্ছে যে যেভাবে যে জায়গায় আছে সেই জায়গায় তার রোলটা সেট করি ইনস্ট্যান্টলি। এবং আমাদের যদি প্ল্যান্ড যদি কোনো অ্যাটাকে আমরা যাই, সেক্ষেত্রে আমরা আমাদের যার যেভাবে রোল সেভাবেই যাই। যেমন আমার স্কোয়াডে 2জন প্লেয়ার যারা হচ্ছে সামনে থাকে এবং বাকি 2জন প্লেয়ার তারা হচ্ছে আমরা পিছনে থাকি, বা আমি 3জন সামনে থাকি, 1জন পিছনে থাকি। আমার রোলটা হয় বেসিক্যালি আমি পিছনে থাকি, পিছনে থেকে ফুল টিম যখন যার দিকে ব্যাকআপ লাগে বা যেদিকে ফায়ার পাওয়ারটা লাগে বা যেদিকে প্লেয়ার নক হয় অপোনেন্টের, সেদিকে আমি সেখান থেকে ব্যাকআপ করে খেলি।
এবং আমি যদি বলি আপনাদের ইনস্ট্যান্ট যদি কোনো স্কোয়াড মেম্বার যদি ডাউন হয় এবং ওয়াইপড আউট হয়ে যায়, তখন আপনাদের মধ্যে নার্ভাসনেসটা কি কাজ করে, নাকি আপনারা জাস্ট তখনই নিজেদের নার্ভ কন্ট্রোল রেখে কিন্তু আপনারা তখনই আগায় যেতেছেন সামনের দিকে? কোনটা হয়? আপনাদের কি নার্ভাসনেসটা কি কাজ করে নাকি ভিতরে? আমি সেটা জানতে চাচ্ছিলাম।
এই হিসেবে আমি বলতে যাব যে আমাদের যদি একটা প্লেয়ার নক হয়ে যায় বা এনি কেস, তো সেক্ষেত্রে আমাদের নার্ভাসনেসটা অ্যাকচুয়ালি আসে না। কারণ আমাদের এক একটা প্লেয়ারকে আমরা এমন ভাবে ট্রেন আপ করে নিজেরা ট্রেন করি যে একটা প্লেয়ার যদি নক হয়, সে যাতে মিনিমাম অপোনেন্ট টিমের হাফ পেসটাকে ভেঙে দিয়ে যায়। আর আমার যেটা পাশে প্লেয়ার থাকে, তারও সেই অ্যাবিলিটিটাকে তার উপর একটা ফেথ থাকে যে না, আমি এতটুকু করে দিয়ে গেছি, বাকি সে ফিনিশিংটা করে দিতে পারবে। সেই হিসাবে আমাদের নার্ভাসনেসটা খুব একটা কাজ করে না এই সিচুয়েশনে।
ভেরি পাওয়ারফুল টিম আপনারা, ভেরি পাওয়ারফুল আপনাদের গেম প্ল্যান, এবং আপনারা অনেক কুইক ডিসিশন নিতে পারেন, সেটা আমরা দেখে এসেছি। সো আপনারা যে এত দূর পর্যন্ত এসেছেন, এবং আপনারা তো বললেন আপনারা প্রায় 2 বছরের একটা স্কোয়াড, অনেক টুর্নামেন্ট খেলেছেন, অনেক টুর্নামেন্টে আপনারা চ্যাম্পিয়ন হয়েছেন, জিতেছেন। সো আপনাদের একটা নিশ্চয়ই ফ্যান ফলোয়ার্স আছে, আপনাদের একটা সাপোর্টার্স আছে। তো আপনাদের ফ্যান ফলোয়ার্স বা সাপোর্টারদের উদ্দেশ্যে কিছু যদি বলতেন আমাদের এই মিডিয়াম দিয়ে।
আমাদের ফ্যান ফলোয়ার্সদের জন্য একটা কথা আমি বলবো যে তোমরা যারা খেলছো, তোমরা যদি এরকম একটা স্টেজে ক্ষমতা আসতে যাও, প্রথমত তোমাদেরকে যেটা করতে হবে সেটা হচ্ছে তোমাদের নিজেদের সেলফ ইমপ্রুভমেন্টটা করতে হবে। তোমাদের গেম প্লে নিয়ে তোমাদেরকে ওয়ার্ক করতে হবে, গেমে টাইম দিতে হবে, বুঝতে হবে যে তোমার গেমটা থেকে আসলে কি চাওয়া, তোমার একটা গোল সেট করতে হবে। দেন তোমার যেটা সেটা হচ্ছে তোমার স্কোয়াড মেটরা যে কতটুকু কি করতে পারে, কেমন খেলছে এই সম্পর্কে দক্ষ থাকতে হবে। আর সবচেয়ে বড় কথা হচ্ছে প্র্যাকটিস মেক্স এ ম্যান পারফেক্ট। সো তোমাদের টিম নিয়ে মাস্ট বি অনেক প্র্যাকটিস করা লাগবে, করে তোমরা বিভিন্ন স্টেজে যে ভালো একটা পারফরম্যান্স করে আসতে পারো।
এবং আপনার কি কিছু বলার আছে রাইট শুভ? আপনার যদি কিছু বলার থাকে অবশ্যই শেয়ার করবেন।
আমার বলার আছে আসলে প্র্যাকটিসেরই ব্যাপার। আর হচ্ছে আমি যেটা বলবো যে স্কোয়াড যদি করতে হয় সেক্ষেত্রে কয়েকটা জিনিস মাথায় রাখতে হবে যে স্কোয়াডের সাথে নিজেদের ভিতর সম্পর্কের বন্ডিংটা কেমন। এই গেমের বাইরেও নিজেদের ভিতর একটা ভালো বন্ডিং থাকলে স্কোয়াডের ক্ষেত্রেও বা গেম প্লের ক্ষেত্রেও সেই জিনিসটা কাজে লাগে। অনেক স্কোয়াড দেখা যায় যে খুব বেশি ভেঙে যায়, কয়েকদিন হয় কোন একটা হার্ডশিপ ফেস করে তাতে ভেঙে যায়। আমি বলবো যে স্কোয়াডটা আসলে ধরে রাখার বিষয়, যত বেশি ধরে রাখতে পারো তত বেশি দিন যাবত তোমার স্কোয়াডটা থাকবে, তত বেশি তোমার স্কোয়াডটা স্ট্রং হবে, একটা কম্বিনেশন হবে।
এক্স্যাক্টলি সুন্দর অ্যান্সার দিয়েছেন আপনারা। আসলে যেরকম একটা ভালো স্কোয়াড, আপনারা সেরকম কথাও সুন্দর বলতে পারেন, গুছিয়ে কথা বলতে পারেন এবং মানুষকে আপনারা অনেক ইন্সপিরেশন কিছু মেসেজ দিলেন। ভালো লাগলো আপনাদের সাথে কথা বলে কিছু। সো আপনাদের কাছে আরো কিছু জানতে যাবো, সেটা হচ্ছে যে এই ধরনের টুর্নামেন্টে আপনাদের কি কোনো স্পেশাল টিপস আছে নাকি? যারা এই ধরনের স্কোয়াড আছে টুর্নামেন্ট খেলতে আসে, যে এই ধরনের টিপস, ছোট্টখাটো কিছু টিপস ইউজ করলে আপনারা আপনাদের গেম প্লে আরেকটু বেটার হয়ে যাইতে পারে, এই ধরনের কোনো টিপস যদি দেন ফ্যান্সদের উদ্দেশ্যে, লাইক ল্যান্ডিংস নিয়ে অথবা আপনাদের লুটস নিয়ে।
এবং আরেকটু যদি বলা হয় তাহলে সেটা হচ্ছে লাস্ট
গান
জোনে
সিলেকশন
কিভাবে
নিয়ে।
আপনারা লাস্ট জোনে সার্ভাইভিং স্কিল সম্পর্কে যদি কিছু বলার থাকে সেটা যদি একটু শেয়ার করেন তাহলে সবার জন্য অবশ্যই ইউজফুল হবে।
অনেক কিছু শিখতে পারতাম আমরা সবাই।
আচ্ছা, এই ক্ষেত্রে আমি যদি টিপস দিতে চাই তাহলে বলবো যে আমাদের যখন ল্যান্ডিং করা হয়, ল্যান্ডিং করার পরে লুটের যে টাইমটা বা ফার্স্ট ফাইটের টাইমটা সীমিত সময় সম্ভব তত সীমিত সময় করা দরকার লুটটা এবং ফার্স্ট ফাইটটা, না হলে থার্ড পার্টি খাওয়ার প্রচুর একটা মানে সম্ভাবনা থাকে। তো এরপরে ভালো একটা পজিশন বা জোন দেখে জোন চেকার গুলো মেরে জোন টোন দেখে ভালো একটা পজিশন নিয়ে নেওয়া, যেখান থেকে আপনার পরের জোনে মুভ করতে পারবেন বা যেখান থেকে আপনি আপনার স্কোয়াড নিয়ে হোল্ড করতে পারবেন পজিশনটা, এমন একটা জায়গা আপনার খুঁজে বের করতে হবে। এবং লাস্ট জোনের ক্ষেত্রে সবচেয়ে ভালো উপায় হচ্ছে থার্ড পার্টি করা। এটা যদিও একটা মানে বাজে সিচুয়েশন, তারপর লাস্ট জনের সবচেয়ে ভালো উপায় হচ্ছে থার্ড পার্টি করা। তো সেক্ষেত্রে অন্য স্কোয়াডের ফাইট হবে, ফাইটটা আপনারা দেখবেন, আপনারা জাস্ট সেখানে ফাইটা নেবেন
রাইট মোমেন্টে
থার্ড পার্টি করে। হ্যাঁ, রাইট মোমেন্টে আপনার ওখানে ক্রোনো সেভ করতে হবে। এখন যে ক্রোনো ওপি ক্যারেক্টার, ক্রোনো আপনার সেভ করতে হবে, আপনার যথেষ্ট গ্রেনেড সেভ করতে হবে। আর লঞ্চার থাকলে তো মানে অসম্ভব একটা ব্যাপার, ঠিক আছে? লঞ্চার থাকলে তো আপনার কাছ থেকে নিয়ে যেতে পারবে না কেউ কিছু। তো আপনি জাস্ট ওয়েট করবেন রাইট অপরচুনিটি, লাস্টের দিকে জাস্ট যে যত পরে ফায়ার করবে তার অ্যাডভান্টেজ বেশি থাকবে। যারা আগে ফায়ার করবে, যারা আগে ফাইটটা নেবে তারাই মারটা খাবে ওখানে।
আমি একটু কথা অ্যাড করবো যে এখানে অপরচুনিটিটা ম্যাটার করে, তার চেয়ে বড় ব্যাপার হচ্ছে যে তুমি নক না খাওয়া। ব্যাপারটা এমন হয় যে আমার কাছে অপরচুনিটি আছে, প্লাস পয়েন্ট আছে, এভরিথিং আছে, কিন্তু সিচুয়েশনে আমি যদি নক খেয়ে যাই সেক্ষেত্রে এনিমি টিম একটা চান্স পেয়ে যাবে যে অপোনেন্ট টিমের এই পয়েন্টটা উইক, আমি ওকে হিট করব। তো সেই ক্ষেত্রে যদি নক খেয়ে যায় তখন সেই ক্ষেত্রে যে কোনো টাইমে গেমটা চেঞ্জ হয়ে যায়। তো ট্রাই করতে হবে যত বেশি পসিবল নক না খাওয়া।
ইয়েস এবং এটা একটা সুন্দর টেকনিকের কথা বললেন, নক হওয়া যাবে না এবং নক হলে কিন্তু তাকে হিল দেওয়ার একটা মেইনটেনেন্স থাকতে হবে। সো আপনাদের সাথে কথা বলে অনেক কিছু শিখতে পারলাম, অনেক কিছু জানতে পারলাম, আপনাদের মনের অনুভূতি জানতে পারলাম। সো আমরা আশা করব নেক্সটে আরো অনেকগুলো দিন আছে, অনেকগুলো ম্যাচ আছে, আপনারা ভালো করবেন, ইনশাআল্লাহ ফাইনালে উঠবেন। আমরা চাই যে আপনারা ফাইনালে উঠেন, ফাইনালে একটা ভালো কিছু করে দেখান সবাইকে, আপনাদের ফ্যান ফলোয়ার্সদেরকে একটা ভালো কিছু গিফট দেন, আপনাদের ফ্রেন্ডস এন্ড ফ্যামিলিকে ভালো কিছু গিফট দেন। সো আমরা সেই আশায় রইলাম। আর বুচাস যদি কিছু আমাদেরকে আপনাদের উদ্দেশ্যে বলে দেন শেষ কথা কিছু।
যে আপনাদের স্কোয়াড মেম্বার যারা আছেন এবং যাদের স্কিল যেগুলো আছে, আপনাদের স্কিল অনেক ভালো আমি দেখতেছি প্রিভিয়াস ম্যাচে। আপনারা অবশ্যই আপনাদের যেসব ডমিনেশন পাওয়ার দেখাচ্ছেন সেগুলো আসলে অসাধারণ ছিল এবং আপনাদের গেম প্লেয়ারগুলো অসাধারণ। যদি আরেকটু যদি বন্ডিংগুলো ভালো হয় তো আমি মনে করি যে আসলে আপনাদের আর অনেক ভালো স্কোয়াড আপনাদের আমি যেটা দেখতেছি, কারণ সবাই কিন্তু ডিফারেন্ট সাইডে কিন্তু আপনাদের ভালো ভালো স্কিল শো করতেছেন আমি যেটা দেখতেছি, এবং আমি আশা করি যে আরো ফিউচারে আরো বেশি স্কিল দেখাবেন আমাদেরকে, এইসব গেম প্লে অসাধারণ অ্যামেজিং গেম প্লে দেখাবেন। এন্ড দ্যাটস ইট। সো আই থিঙ্ক এটা আজকে এতটুকুই থাকুক, আজকে এতটুকুই থাকুক। এবং আমি মনে করি যে আপনাদের যেসব স্কিল আছে, ডমিনেশন স্কিল যেগুলো আছে, ফিউচারে আরো দেখাবেন, আরো ভালো অ্যামেজিং গেম প্লে। বেস্ট অফ লাক, উইশ ইউ বেস্ট অফ লাক ফর দ্য নেক্সট ডে।
বেস্ট ফর ইউ গাইস, আপনারা আরো ভালো করেন, ভালো কিছু করেন টুর্নামেন্টে, একটা ভালো কিছু করে নিয়ে যান সেটা আশায় আমরা আজকে বিদায় নিচ্ছি সবার থেকে। গাইস টাটা, বাই বাই।